Mike Stacks is the salesperson you need to contact at Sports Subaru right there on North John Young Parkway. They have lifetime powertrain warranties on all their Subarus.
I see so many Subarus.
Yeah,
so many Subarus. Ross has a beautiful Subi.
Yeah. They just
Tony Manjette has a beautiful Subaru.
Yeah, that WRX. I got a Subaru Forester. I drove a WRX for a while. Super fun car to drive. They got that new EV.
Is that the big SUV? What's that big SUV they have?
They're the Outback.
I think we had a listener that bought. No, it's bigger than the Outback. It's
that
really
what Ross
nice.
has, I think. Yeah,
it's great.
It may have. There's an EV. There is. I mean, you can go to Sports Subaru right there on North John Young Parkway.
See everything. Mike will get you into something great.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're looking for the Chevy sides of things, dmchevy.com, Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. JC Harrelson is our sales guy over there. Talk to him. He's the general sales manager, so he could put you in contact with a salesperson that can help you.
You can get a great truck, get a great Silverado.
Yeah,
a Colorado, maybe a tinier truck.
I bought my truck from DM Chevy, and it's paid. I just paid it off.
Hey, congratulations!
And so I'm itching for a new
You kept it cherry. You kept it so cherry.
Well, they offer great trade-in value.
Yeah. And, don't let them see the interior. My God.
No, listen.
It smells like rotten milk in there. Like driving around. It's like driving around inside a rotten milk carton.
Why am I so bad with my vehicles?
We can clean it.
Yeah, but also they offer great trade-in value, and I can get into a new Chevrolet.
Let's do it. Let's wreck a new one.
Silverado. God, AC seats. Yeah. That's what I want.
AC seat. You know what? Cold milk smell coming out of your seats.
It's dmchevy.com and Sports Subaru right there in North John Young Parkway. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So every year, for how many years now, John, have we been doing this?
I've been thinking this. It's got to be like 14.
Get right on the mic.
We should have given you a mic.
Yeah. We're sharing one. He can just lead it a little bit there, John.
Professional enough to not ask the only guy without the mic.
Yeah. You there, the person relaxing.
14 years, I think.
All right.
Congratulations, y'all. That's a long time.
And so John and Steve, both firefighters, have been coming in to promote St. Baldrick's, which is coming up at Citrus City Craft.
Yeah, man.
Johnny's here from Citrus City as well. Now, this is on St. Patrick's Day?
Day before.
So March
16th, yeah.
Okay. And so head out to Citrus City Craft in Sanford and participate because it's all for a great cause. It's for, childhood cancer. And so you guys have been doing it for a while, and we appreciate that. And we appreciate all the time that it takes to put on events like this because it's difficult.
And you guys have been growing your hair out and cutting your hair for 14 years, raising money, getting the word out, moving it to multiple locations, consolidating different charity events that you had to get one. You've been doing it for a very, very long time, just beating the drum. As a tribute to you, as some love to you, I wrote you a song.
Oh, boy.
I think encompasses everything.
There we go. I was going to say, how'd you know? How'd you remember all of that? You've done some research.
No. I just remember the things that you say do not fall on deaf ears here, sir. They go in, and you touched my heart.
Let's
and
hear it.
You touched my heart.
Let's get to it.
Firefighters, what do they do? I know they play pickleball. I know they make stew.
Chili.
I know they grow mustaches. I know they clean trucks. And their Kelly Day schedule while they earn big bucks. But the best thing they do on their permanent vacation is they get out the word for St. Baldrick's Foundation.
Sing it.
The drop.
Lazy all year, but they still care. Firefighters and St. Baldrick's, a winning pair.
All right. Yeah, there
Let's raise some money for pediatric cancer. Let's save the kids.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure all the listeners heard that said lazy all year, right?
Yeah, it's lazy all year.
That was the big drop. That was the big drop.
I
Lazy
didn't
all
sing
year.
it.
Yeah, lazy all year is inspired by my good friend Tom Van. These are all facts that he has told me about.
No, I didn't say that.
These are all things he's told me. These are the firefighter facts.
No.
Is that why you want to do that in your next life?
Well, it's one of
you can be lazy all year.
It's one of the main factors. Not all of it.
It's lazy all year, but they still care.
Oh.
You have to add that part on.
That gets pretty quiet. I mean, it's a big booming lazy all, and then lazy all year, but they care. But they still care. Who's singing that?
That's me. That was me.
That's you?
Actually,
With the serious auto-tuner.
I did the demo that I had I have a series of singing boys that I can bring in here at any moment.
Is that like Josh Groban? That was pretty powerful ballad.
It's a Groban-y boy that I brought in here. Yeah.
So I wrote down a list of firefighter questions. Here we go. Question number one. Do you guys get irritated? I started to talk about this on Twitch. That do you have to put on your bunker gear every single call? And understand which.
But is that true? I don't know that. You're saying something that you don't even know. He's saying that you guys have to put on your bunker gear every time you get a call without even asking you, which is one of the reasons why I love him.
So you remember when your parents would always like make you be prepared all the time, and they'd get up on their soapbox and be like, listen, if you don't do this every single time, it's going to end up biting you in the butt. It only takes one at 3 a.m. for you to be like, this is BS. And then you turn the corner and there's a big column of smoke and the whole sky's lit up really bright, and you're like, oh, this will be the last time I don't put on my gear, no matter if it sounds like BS or not.
But I feel like Tom's good for 3 of those. You're good for 3 of those, right? I feel like you are.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's when I start putting the pants on. When I see the smoke, I'm not putting my pants on until I see the smoke. That's all I'm saying.
Especially nowadays.
Hold on, that's a great shirt. I'm not putting my pants on until I see the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Especially nowadays, like with phones, right? Yeah. Like, nobody is trying to get a garden hose. Nobody's trying to get anybody out of the house. Everybody just has their phone as you pull up.
Wait a minute. I saw
if you're sitting there in your boxers.
Who was using the hose? A famous person. It was Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
It was
in California?
California.
Yeah. Good for him.
Saved his house.
He did save his house.
That's because he's got security cameras everywhere. He's got all the footage
he got that
anyway.
punked money.
Yeah.
Did you know there's private fire departments out in California? That's the gig to get.
You guys need to start a private fire department.
Yeah.
How can we convince you to do that? We'll invest.
Well, there's no need for it out here. That's the problem.
Yeah, but we'll create a need. We'll start fire.
All right. Good thinking.
The crazy thing about it is,
I'm an idea guy.
Nobody, like, you can pay, right? But if they see something on their way, they're going to stop there. So you're paying for them to fight fire the first time they see it.
But that's the thing. You
it's
never
in their contract.
stop.
It's in their contract.
Right.
If they stop, you're fired on the spot.
I'm not even going to shoot the water at the next door neighbor.
No.
Like,
even if he's begging me, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Rules are rules.
Right. I only spray if you pay.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay to spray.
Pay to spray. Write that down.
The neighbors, no spray. Only the pay.
It'll call it smoke pants.
Second question.
Okay.
So me and Daniel were.
I'm Daniel.
We were driving yesterday, and a fire truck and ambulance was coming up quick behind us, and we had to pull off the road.
Well, I was not driving, sir.
Oh, yeah.
You're insane.
Yeah, you're right.
Way too drunk to drive.
Yeah. So everybody's pulling over.
There's nothing funny about that.
And it reminds me, I see this happen all the time, and I want to get your guys' perspective because I'm sure you see this every day. So every time I pull over for a fire truck or an ambulance or whatever,
you salute, which I think is weird. It's a little bit of overkill.
I get out and salute.
He gets out and salutes and stands by.
So when I see it coming, I pull over and I'll get up on top of the medium because
I thought you were going to get on the top of your car. I think you should get on the top of your truck and salute. That would be awesome, like Dan Newland does on the 18-wheelers.
I'll drive.
These things are dangerous.
I'll drive up on sidewalks because I use it as my opportunity to drive on stuff because then because I realize
free sidewalk driving.
Yeah, because I realized like every cop is going to be like, oh wait, he's trying to get out of the way of a fire truck. We'll never give him a ticket for anything he does because he's trying to get out of the way of a fire truck.
How long? You drive all the way down the sidewalk?
No, so I can get on.
So
anything.
You stay on the sidewalk for how long?
I drive on bushes. I'll do whatever I want.
I like that.
And so it's a little micro fun you get to do when it's like a lawless situation because you'll never. But anyway,
as long as you can hear the siren, from what I understand, your ears are under martial law, and you can do whatever you want.
So, but inevitably, every time I'll see everybody trying to get out of the way, and then I'll see one old lady freeze because she's terrified.
The sirens are scary.
Yeah. She's terrified that the fire truck's coming, and
being pulled over.
Instead of getting out of the way, she'll just freeze where she's at, and then the fire truck will be like, "Go, go!" Like,
I do like it when you guys do that. When you go,
and then the old lady's just shaking, and they're frozen in fear.
So the question is, have you ever killed an old lady with your siren?
And she's afraid to even go out into the
intersection.
Intersection. There you go. Sorry,
well, she needs to go.
Yeah,
she's literally having a traumatic moment
because she's like, "Oh, I can't. I break the law. I got to follow the law. I can't go out to the intersection because that's against the law." Because she doesn't realize that you could do whatever you want when the fire truck's behind you. Get out of the damn way. So anyway, how many times does that happen? All the time. And have you ever rammed
the old lady?
There was a question in there, right?
Yeah.
How often does the frozen old lady?
We don't like to insult your intelligence. We like for you to fish the question out.
And you guys, you never stick your head out the window and start screaming at her.
Move it, you old bag!
You're just honking the horn that makes her frozen.
We had a guy years ago. It was caught on camera, but basically the lieutenant was so frustrated because there was a car that just wouldn't move out of the way that he was just flipping them off. Like he flipped them off, and as he finally got out of the way, like a mile down the road and everything, and he ended up getting in trouble for expressing his frustration.
Oh God!
Yeah. But
some Karen's filming you, and like, look at this chief flipping this old lady off. Oh, get out of the way, you old bag!
Okay, get in here, Nick Patrick.
We have drive cams, so like the camera's always on us when we're driving.
We've got a false safe touch security call to get to.
But yes, to answer your question, to answer your question, that's daily. On a daily basis, that happens.
I feel like more like public service announcement should be put out for people to get the hell out of the way.
Well, that was the first time.
Don't do it.
That was the first time when we were driving back yesterday from a broadcast. That was the first time I've ever had to move my car out of the way for like a fire truck. Because normally,
first time ever?
Yeah, because normally fire trucks I don't know why this has ever happened, but they normally have enough room to move through. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at this particular where we were at, it was really tight. And I'm looking around, I'm like, well, this is wild. And then I turned over to the side, and it was really remarkable how many people just didn't seem to care at all, or want to react, and I'm like, come on guys, let's do. And then the other thing that was a little dangerous and weird is that as soon as the fire truck got through, I'm giving them some grace, right? Because they're still driving and everything.
Yeah,
everybody behind us starts cutting us all off like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to let them get it out of their system because this is nuts.
Yeah. It goes both ways though, right? Because it can be rush hour and you can come up to an intersection that's just packed and there's nowhere for any of them to go. And we have drivers that'll just lay on that air horn the entire time. And it's like, come on, man, give them a few seconds because they can't go left or right, and you're just
I feel like
laying
you're talking
on the
to
horn.
me. I feel like you're talking to me, and I'm not even driving, but I would be doing that. I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
So mad.
But, you're allowed to jump over the median and then go into the opposite, as long as you're safe. Like if they're stopped or whatever, you can.
I think you're.
You can really do whatever.
No, he's right. So
I think you're taking advantage though a little.
No,
if I see you jump the median, and start doing donuts.
No,
it's called due regard, right? If we can drive safely, right? Super safe. And then you're talking about taking oncoming traffic. So it's kind of like a last resort type of thing. But yeah, if you need to get somewhere and that's the only way to do it, then...
I like that. Tom Duregard Van.
Tom Duregard Van.
Yeah.
And so
Duregard, come here, boy.
I did it when I was a new engineer. I had a lieutenant and he was looking down at the computer and I had taken oncoming traffic and he was an old school, just like Swamp Billy. And he looked up and he was like, he freaked out because he had no idea we did it. And now he just sees, it's almost like that old video that you see of them waking up the dude in the back seat, with the headlights in their eyes, kind of. That's what he thought he had going on. So,
let me ask you a ladder truck question,
and then we probably should talk about the event.
Oh yeah, that's St. Baldrick's.
Yeah.
The day before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, we could leave all these questions as cliffhangers, and then people have to show up. to get the
answer
answers.
them all.
You should show up because
These are questions that'll get the people out.
I like that.
I have to get these out. I've saved these up for since the last time you came into it.
He was looking through a file cabinet. I was like, "You put things on file?" He's like, "I got to find my firefighter question."
Hey, every year, I'm like, I'm going to save some firefighter questions for Steve and John for St. Baldrick's. So the ladder truck. Every time I see the ladder truck, I look up at it, and then I'm like, when's the last time they used that ladder? Especially in Florida.
I think they have
said,
to.
New York City.
I think they have to. What do you mean by use? I think they got to shoot it up and down a couple times a month just to make sure it shoots.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be
the ladder.
I'd be a good firefighter. This guy, all your ladders would be rusted shut. Everybody dead. Me, I'd be.
The lazy all year. This is why he wants to be a firefighter. Right.
Really what?
Full circle.
Did I not tell you he inspired the song?
Yeah, I think that's why he's asking all these questions. The due regard didn't get you. Just being able to take oncoming traffic, you're not sold?
I just want to know that because I see the ladder and then I'm like, man, it's Florida, and I haven't seen like a high-rise fire in a long time. I would see it on the news or TikTok.
Jump out of the building.
No, I feel like I would see it on the news or the social media anytime they use the ladder, and then like firefighters are climbing up a ladder into a building.
Oh, I like that. When you guys have to lean out, and then you got to lean a child down and through another window.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, get it.
I'm like, that would blow up on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm like, I haven't seen the ladder being used in a long time. And I'm like, well, I bet that's they all come like that. And in Florida, they probably they probably have generations of firefighters that have never actually used the ladder during an emergency to climb into a fire building.
Have you either of you ever used the ladders? During
an emergency
without testing them, just shooting them around.
Yeah.
You're talking about the big.
I knew it.
No, hold on.
I knew
we just need clarification. We need clarification.
Most liars need clarification.
I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes you get all over the place. So we just need to bring it back in, and we need to ask a specific question.
I feel like that
Are you talking about like the
ladder truck,
the hand ladder, or you're talking about the big ladder? Okay,
all right. Ladders all the time.
We're talking about the stereotypical shoot it at the high rise
on top of the truck.
You lift the Asian kid out of the window into another window.
Or just get up there and have to
John, he works for the city of Orlando, which is a very urban area with tall buildings. So he absolutely...
He doesn't look very urban. He looks like a cracker-ass cracker. I don't know. I just wanted to call him that.
So his department uses them quite often.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a ladder man?
They're fighting fire left and right.
Oh,
man.
This guy's lying.
Oh, absolutely.
John is redder than our chairs.
And he's bullying his own brother, John, which I like. That's part of the reason I want to be a firefighter.
So
there's a lot of bullying.
In Orange County,
bullying and lazy.
In Orange County, we do have mid-rises, so that's like 6 floors or lower, which is still too high for an engine to get to, so you still need ladder trucks for that. But we can also use them for long buildings, right? Like if a fire starts on the west side of a building and it's working its way east, we can get a ladder up and then we can shoot water and basically put a stop on it so it doesn't.
Oh, that's cool.
It doesn't go the whole way. And and you know the trucks you're talking about, that nozzle will say it has the most water we have in the department. So like you're getting the most water, the most gallonage of water on the fire at one time.
That's the one you want to blast people's trophies off of.
So that's the hose at the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that.
I read that children's book. The hose at the top of the ladder.
I just use that instead of getting out the hose and carrying that
ladder all day.
Just use the ladder hose.
Did I miss anything?
No, you did. You got it.
Sure. Did I give you guys enough credit? Okay, great.
Steve, you didn't mention if you have ever used the
I'm not a truckie.
Okay.
I've never been a truckie.
Yeah. What are you? What are you called?
Well, I'm an engineer, so I drive.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, it's super cool.
You get to drive the truck?
Yeah, I get to drive the truck.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Now, yeah, he is too. So I'm semi-retired.
Who's better at driving the truck? Who would win in a truck race?
Oh, he is totally.
I drive by myself.
So do
I.
So do I.
By yourself?
I'm on a tanker now. I'm on a tanker, but like he's in very narrow areas, very urban, high density. I mean, this guy's a true hero here.
Let's set up an obstacle course.
I don't know how we can do that.
I don't know. I want to ride in a truck really. I want to ride in a fire truck really fast.
I'm semi-retired. I'm on a tanker, so the only calls I have to run now are if there is a structure fire or a brush fire, and there are no hydrants around.
Gotcha.
So now I can add myself to other calls. Like if we get an auto accident, it sounds like it might. I'll go out there for an extra set of hands or whatever. But it's like I don't drive nearly as much as the guys that work.
Hey, auto accident! I'll be right out there to cut some bras off.
When you're driving,
cut a bra?
Yes.
Look, do you see? Everybody in here's cut a bra except for me. Even though
there was no clarification.
Even Citrus Craft, he's cut bras off in his bar.
We practice doing that even without the auto accident. That's just
you got to know how to do that.
How
and it's
heavy
with those angle scissors.
is the bra.
I call them golf scissors because they look like a golf club, like a putter. You use those to cut the bra.
I like those ankles.
I do too.
We should order some of those from the
bras
studio.
of
Tom and Dan angled bra scissors. Those would sell.
They're better. Like I'd rather use the angle scissors for everything, like cutting paper. They're better for everything.
It feels more gentlemanly that I don't have to hold my hand like this. I gotta. I can hold my hand like an American shakes another American's hand.
Like why don't you use them for wrapping paper? They're better for wrapping paper.
It would be better for wrapping.
How heavy
is the tanker truck, and does it cost like?
I thought you meant how heavy the wrapping paper. Because my wife's wrapping paper this year was thick.
It's filled with water, so it's gonna be insane. Like,
so I don't know what the tare weight of the actual vehicle is, but the water, we have 3,500 gallons, and it's roughly 8 pounds. A gallon of water, so whatever that math is.
So just driving that thing, like starting and stopping, is insane, right?
Yeah, it only goes like 48 miles an hour.
Top speed.
And then we have what's called baffles in there, because if you think about it, right, like if you're driving, so there's little walls in there to break up the water, because if it
I'm familiar
from sloshing with a baffle,
with being a waterbed connoisseur.
Oh yeah, absolutely right.
I know everything about baffles. I know when they changed it from the 80s to the 90s, they got baffles. Changed the waterbed industry.
Yep.
But not as much fun. Harder to baby oil your baffles.
Right. So it's slow to begin with, and then it does, like, luckily, that kind of controls any of the real issues.
I got a question. Why do you guys wear your radios on those big, super long straps? Is that so you can fit over all your gear too?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
So one of my favorite things on TikTok recently has been firefighters wasting time at the house.
I told you inspired the song. And he got me on it too. It's a great channel.
And and now it's in my algorithm, so I get it all the time.
All I watch now are pedophiles getting beat up on Instagram and firefighters making food and chilling.
Have you seen the Jaws of Life egg challenge?
Oh yeah.
They're like, get out of here. They're like, that's like 6 months ago, you fool.
That was.
And I'll explain it to the audience.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. I haven't seen this.
So you put an egg on a cone inside the firehouse.
Okay.
And then the firefighter has to use the Jaws of Life to gently. It's like kind of like the bulldozers opening a beer.
Those are my favorite videos. I love the bulldozer opening a beer videos. Have you seen the one where the little girl's holding the beer?
Oh yeah.
And then the dad opens it and then she chugs it. It's not a real beer. It's hilarious.
But you take the Jaws of Life and you ever so gently pick the egg up off one cone and then without cracking it or letting it drop, and then transfer it to another cone. And if you could do that in the least amount of time, you're the Jaws of Life champion.
Yeah.
So can you guys do that? I mean, how hard?
Sounds like a no to me.
They need some clarification.
You know what it is. Yeah. How good are you with the Jaws of Life? How gentle is your touch?
Gentle are your jaws? Are you gentle jaws? Are you sloppy all over the place, crushing everything, gentlemen? Jesus Christ.
John,
I think I would be a delicate
I've never successfully done it. I'll put it that way.
I would be good at it, I feel like, because I'm good at editing and micro. I think that I'd be able to get it. In fact, I think I'd be able to grab the egg with the Jaws of Life, take it over, and dink, crack the egg. I think I crack the egg.
I think we should try it right now. You have some in your car, right?
You have Jaws of Life?
Absolutely.
You could use those just to sit around and break stuff, right? Like you could just use them to destroy everything in
Well, to crush an open.
Let's buy some Jaws of Life.
How expensive do you think?
How much?
Probably get one.
Can we get your? Can we buy your used Jaws?
I bet you can get one on Facebook Marketplace. Look it up on Facebook.
Here we go.
No, there's got to be some Jaws of life around, right?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Used Jaws of life.
Anybody can purchase that.
Oh, dude, $395.
Oh, get two.
Dude, get two. We'll each have one. I'm gonna carry mine. I'm gonna do mine like concealed carry. I'm gonna do concealed carry Jaws of life.
Does that come with everything? Does that come with like the base with the like the motor and the hydraulic fluid?
Sold out. Oh, it's sold out, man. Everybody's carrying these things.
I forgot you need
1800. This is 1800.
Maybe that's where all the eggs are going.
Yeah, this is 1800.
This challenge has inspired everyone, and now eggs cost $20 a dozen.
There's a used one right there.
Okay.
Old Matro hydraulics.
Oh, but that's just the wand, or
yeah, we can get one
of motor.
We'll get a whole hydraulic pump and everything. We'll get the whole nine.
Sorry, guys. Listen, I feel like Steve and John are firefighter buddies. I've got firefighter friends, and
we were excited that you guys are coming in because we like to play around, and you guys like. Well, we think you like to play around. We didn't really ask.
Yeah. No, it's fine because you guys do awesome work for St. Baldrick's every year, and
we get excited. When real men come in here, we try to impress you, and we maybe make ourselves look stupid.
No. Well, because I feel like I'm an unofficial firefighter at this
You've
point
done
because I know
things,
so
and
much
I feel
about
like I'm an unofficial victim in a fire.
I've done the training back in the radio days.
Yeah, you did. And I know.
I put the gear on.
You went through the maze, didn't you?
Yeah, I went through the maze. I did all that.
And then
how'd you like the maze?
They smoked it all up.
I did not know you guys had to do that. And I was like,
he told me. I said, "How was that?" He goes, "That was terrifying."
Did you have gear on?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
you were on air. Nice.
And he said, "Well, that was not fun."
I will complain, and I did complain about this when it
this
happened.
Will make you a great firefighter.
But he likes that kind of stuff.
Complaining?
Like the idea of it being terrifying. Like he came out, he's like, "Oh yeah, that was terrifying," but he likes the challenge of it. So when he says he would enjoy the firefighting aspect of it, there's no doubt in my mind he would. 100%. You like that stuff.
And this is mainly...
Do you like sleep?
No, he doesn't like sleep. Never sleep.
Yeah, great.
I like Adderall and TRT, which is another reason fire. Anyway,
we've done so much bad today. So much bad today.
Anyway, back to the engineers that engineered the safety equipment that firefighters wear. When your air is running out, could you make a less nerve-wracking alarm that's going off in my ear when I'm my air's running low?
You want like a gentle chime. What about you're gonna die?
The vibro alert.
I've never heard this.
I was
100%
different on this. I like the idea of it shocking you, telling you, because you're supposed to get the hell out.
So when I did that, I'm climbing through the pitch black maze with full bunker gear, and I run into the bungee cords,
ropes,
which I'm tangled up in there, right?
Yep.
So,
and he's not known for his elegance, right, of moving things. He probably
just try to.
He's going to brunt force.
No, he's not. Yeah. He's going to try, but he's not going to get there.
And by the way, this is in a Bruce Willis AC duct style, like that is the room you have, right?
It was not for Dan
with air tank in your back, which is just tangled up in all the lines, or whatever. So then my air's running out, and the sound that it had is like, which they told me, like, when your air starts running out, don't panic. Can you make the alarm? Like, maybe,
or have it say, "Don't panic."
Right.
Right. Like that was my original, like, years ago. I was like, why don't they just have it say that so it will remind you, instead of it going like an MRI, like
how about a little final countdown? Something a little,
some exciting music to get you revved
Tom,
up.
You're about to die.
I'm just saying.
I mean, how about a little Godsmack so I can make it out of here?
The blasting, the in my ears only makes my heartbeat faster and my breaths faster.
Well, then you start sucking air, right? Just like scuba diving, when people start to freak out, you look and you just see it.
Speaking of scuba diving, I saw another thing on TikTok. Wearing your full bunker gear, you can scuba dive in it. I saw some firefighters do it in a backyard pool on TikTok.
Oh, you guys got to do that.
And I was like,
that's
whoa.
Awesome.
And they're underwater.
You did it?
I mean, you do it for training. Like,
dive training.
In case you fall in a pool, They want you to know that you can breathe air and sit there and float and try to.
What?
Yeah, they were full underwater.
That's awesome.
And I was like, wow.
They need to tell us more. They need to tell us civilians about this stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom and Dan are giving us a lot of material for activities we could have next year.
Dude,
Yeah, we could have a little
fire
people
engine,
putting gear on would be funny.
We could have a dunk tank with full gear.
Well, it would be funny.
That'd be awesome.
If you're just panning underwater and a bunch of like a fat scuba diver like a firefighters
holding an axe. He's holding an axe.
in a reef with fishes around. That would be funny. That's a good TikTok video.
That is a great
we
TikTok.
can get millions of views if you could.
Okay, next year, you know what we could do? And this is the one, because I love the video you guys did this year. Like, it feels like everything, kind of got stepped up, and it looked great, and we're obviously proud.
Thanks to Citrus City for
thank you guys.
That was them.
That was all Mia and Juliana.
Well, they're awesome.
social
Yeah.
media.
And it like the fit and the finish, I'm one of those guys. I like that kind of stuff, and I thought it looked great. We are obviously proud to be a part of it, but not a bad idea. Next year, you could put on full gear, and I'll film you underwater holding a St. Baldrick sign. You're holding a sign that says "Donate to St. Baldrick's," and you're in full gear.
Yeah, but I need to be like in a reef with fish
We can do
around.
it. Give us an excuse to go scuba diving.
We'll get around the
We'll
Keys.
expense it. We'll just expense it.
Look up full bunker.
You guys
gear,
want to
too.
come party in the Keys to shoot a dumb video?
Okay, so
Absolutely.
we joke around
Yeah,
a
we do.
lot
We
with
do.
Steve, John, just because they've been in so many years, and we're giving them S. But it's awesome that you guys do this every year, and
Yeah, we're all about-
everybody should support St. Baldrick's. Look, just
support your kid charities, folks.
Yeah.
Please. Right now, there's not a lot of things that instantly make you feel good, right? We all know that. This is an instant feel good. I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about it. Go and donate to your kid charities.
Citrus City Craft from 1 to 5, March 16th.
Yep.
Yeah, March 16th, and just head by, donate some money, drink some beer, support these guys. I know a lot of people are shaving their heads. Steve, are
some
you shaving
info.
your head this year?
Yeah, I don't normally
You got a lot of hair,
this,
man.
have this going. So I haven't cut my hair since July. When,
Okay.
So I do a charity bike ride in Charlotte in July. So I shaved it before that, and then I haven't cut it since. But so for those that don't know what St. Baldrick's is, it's a national organization based in California, and they have all these feeder events all over the nation. And so we have the second longest running feeder event in the Central Florida area.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
275, and they're like in the 6 digits now.
yeah, so you keep
As
your
a-
event
numbers.
number. Like whenever you get assigned an event, you keep that number as long as you've been doing it. So what John said is, we're number 275 in the nation.
Awesome.
And they're up to what?
I don't know. They're in the 6 digits.
Well,
Yeah.
6 digits.
It's-
That's hundreds of thousands of events.
It's
So
tons.
yeah, so we've been doing it a long time, but the concept is, I am choosing the route of growing my hair out. So what happens when, when I go to my daughter's water polo game or whatever, somebody sees me and they're like, what gives? Normally you look even more, dashing than this look you have going on right here.
Then your
so
sprouts.
yeah, so it gives me right. So it gives me a chance to kind of talk about the event, raise some awareness and things like that. And then I'll go and on the 16th I'll shave my head, and then when I go back to the fire station, when I see those same people, it'll raise some more awareness, and I just get a chance to kind of explain what's going on. My personal stories, I do it because I lost my first child. He lived 5 months and he passed away from cancer. So that's how I got involved. I started an event with Orange County Fire Department. A couple of years in, I noticed that Orlando had an event, and we were doing it on the exact same day.
I remember, yeah.
So I reached out to John, and John was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I would not still be doing this event if I didn't have John, because it would it's just too much for me to take on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I need to give him all the credit in the world, because he handles all the emails. He's the one, that prompts me, hey man, you got to get off your butt. We got to get moving on
he'll
this
hit
stuff.
us up and stuff.
Yeah,
We
he's
love
very
you guys, man.
he's very good at all of that stuff.
And please never stop doing it with us.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. No, we'll always support
Right.
you guys. And
Until you stop doing it, and even
Right.
then we may decide to do it. You know what I mean? And I know you
Yeah.
won't. I know
Yeah.
you won't.
So it needs to be said, though, that you don't have to shave your head. A lot of people will avoid the event. They feel self-conscious. They feel guilty because, I don't want to go out there and I'm not shaving my head. there are hundreds of people that will be there that are not shaving their head, because you can come out, you can support, you can hear some of the stories. We have an honored family every year, because we want to put like a face with where the money and the donations are going. We don't want it to just be, some big machine, right? So we find a local family every year that's going through it. The family gets support. They get to see that, hey, there are people out there that are thinking about us, and they're actively trying to find a cure, and they're supporting us. And then all of the people that come out, they get to see, oh, like this could be me, right? This could be my nephew or my niece or whatever it may be. Yeah. And but you don't have to shave your head, and you don't have to be a firefighter. You can come out, you can grab a chair. There's some raffles that we'll do. There's a kids zone if you have any kids, to bring them out. There's food trucks out there. Citrus City, obviously, they're going to provide the spirits.
Awesome spot.
And they do a great job. We're going to have, like I said, we'll have the raffles. We'll have a cornhole tournament. There's going to be a beer Olympics. What's that?
Beer Olympics.
Yeah, the beer Olympics will be out there. So if you don't have a team, that's fine. We'll throw you on a team if you want to go out there and just have some fun, with some other guys. There will be a lot of firefighters out there for, any single ladies or men, whatever. Hey,
there you go.
So
it's come out there and see some muscles.
One of our things is it's easy to get firefighters to join, because we're firefighters, and firefighters tend to like to just do things for a good cause, right?
Yeah.
Just to drink.
Yeah. One of our problems is we're trying to get into like the corporate area where, like, you get, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys at like a law firm, or I don't know, pest control company or something, and they form a team, and then you get people after the event, when they show up with their head shaved, and they're
right.
Why is your head shaved? And then they get to tell the story of why their head shaved, and I think that would be like so awesome to have like more corporate participation.
Yeah.
So and to finish the point,
it's more impactful there. I would feel like.
Well, so
it's not a normal look in that world, and it definitely is a questionable.
But even as a firefighter, if you get 4 guys on your crew to go shave their head, you show up to houses for medical calls, and people are looking at you and going, "Okay, this isn't normal. What's going on?" And you get to share, right, and you get to spread that awareness. And what John's saying is that, kind of that point, like, now take 4 or 5 guys that all work in the same office, and they shave their head. It's just a whole nother audience, and a whole, it's just a whole nother group of people that we're not touching right now.
Gotcha.
That we would love to, just filter out and, make our way throughout the area to the, as we like to say, civilians.
Yeah.
And even cops. We'd love to have cops come out.
Sure.
You don't mean that, right?
I mean, we don't need it.
That's a joke. They get touchy.
No,
I get some emails.
It's an awesome event.
I'm joking around.
And it's great that you guys do it every year. And people often look past that and the effort it takes to even do events every year. And
it's hard to set these things up, man.
Yeah. And then it's just because it's
time. It's time away from your own family. It's time away from your own work. It's your own personal time just to keep your head straight, and but we certainly appreciate you guys doing it.
Well, we're looking. We raised $49,500 last year.
Good Lord.
That was our first year.
Highest.
Yeah, it was the second
fantastic.
highest we've ever done. It's the first year we were Citrus, and when we went in for our first meeting this year, they were like, "What can we do? What can we do to make it better?" And I was like, "Guys, we just raised $49,500. Let's just." Dude, let's not rock the boat. Let's
Keep
not
doing
change it.
Yeah.
And Citrus is like, no, F that. Nope, we're going to do better. We want to do better. Kind of thing. And so it's been an awesome partnership with them. So they have so much space out in the parking lot and things like that. And the beer's cold.
That's a killer bar.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so just head by, donate some money, buy a raffle ticket.
So it's the most simple charity thing you can do is just to go have a beer and drop, $5, $10, $1, whatever. Just donate a little bit, or just get awareness and set yourself up for next year. Whatever.
And even if you can't make it out, we do have on our Instagram we have the QR codes. You can donate through there if for some reason you're not local or something like that. It's easy to donate.
How can people find that?
If you just go to Citrus City Craft on Instagram, I believe it's our latest post or the second most recent. It's like the second picture on there. It's a QR code. You can just donate right from there.
And this website again is called Instagram.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a boomer,
it's a new.
if you're a boomer, then you can still go to stbaldrick's.org, and then in the search bar, search Central Florida.
Well, you'll go to Google, and then you'll type in Facebook. Right. And then once you get there, log in, and then post to everybody Celery City Craft, and then you post, and that's a post, and then people will be like, "Oh, you shouldn't have posted this. You were looking for this," and then they'll fix it up for you. That's what my mom used to do.
Did she still have AOL?
She would post things like she would just no, she's gone, but she would post like Maisie's name, just like because she was searching for pictures. So you'd look at her Facebook and it would just say like Maisie Dennis, and I'd be like, "Oh no, oh no, what is he doing?"
Guys, thanks so much again.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. I'm gonna give you a blast here. There you go. I know you get enough of those, but that's
Does that give you PTSD?
Yeah, that's an official Tom and Dan blast.
Tom, does that give you PTSD from being in the maze?
I'm telling you, it was more of a with vibrations.
Yeah.
Which
that's the best part.
Which the vibrations scare you more than the noise.
I like that.
It's like I just need one or the other.
I wore
not both.
Sometimes I have on date nights.
Here we go.
Sometimes I'll have my wife wear her oxygen mask out on date night, and I'm controlling the oxygen. If you know what I mean.
By the way, I didn't get out before it ran out.
I know he did. Yeah.
It just ran out.
Didn't they have to? They pulled you at the end, right?
Yeah, I just took my mask off, and then I'm like, I'm stuck in here. And then I opened the thing.
It's like opening a smoker.
Yeah. Sweating my balls off, by the way. So hot. Put some more air holes in this thing.
Yeah, put some air conditioning. You ever thought about air conditioning? The tube? Because most houses that are burning have air conditioning. Duh.
Yeah. I have an oxygen tank. Run that through my suit. I might run out of air faster.
Puffy air suit.
Give me 2 tanks. Anyway, sorry. All right, we have to blow another 2 minutes. So let's just, what are you guys doing this weekend? Anything cool? You got a boat? Who's got a boat? I don't
have a boat.
No
Tom's doing crowd work now. Who's got a boat? I'm going to choke on my mouth. I almost died. Who's got a boat out here? I'm like, hold on, let me record this for TikTok.
Is Matt Rife in your feed as well?
I got to record
crowd work?
Hold on, let me get my phone. I got to record
2 minutes left.
This is Tom doing crowd work. Any boat owners out there? What kind of boat you got?
So
this is where you get the good
in the fire service, it's either the young guys that have a boat because it's the first job they've had, and they're like, "Ooh, I have so much money." And of course, that's a bad decision.
Or you and I are on drugs today. For some reason, they're like, why are they so weird today?
No, this is usual.
I thought this is par for the course. Thank you. Finally, somehow have a friend step up for us.
You guys don't see it, but we're outside stretching. Like we're going through. Like we're
stretching. That's for girls.
Because we need to. No, we need to get ready for you
two. Girls. My daughter stretches.
We need to get ready for you two. So we need to just loosen up and just
baseball players don't stretch.
Very pliable.
Baseball players don't stretch at all. Pitchers do, but they're gay.
Or
the old guys that are about to retire, they can afford a boat as well. But everybody in between,
no, that stinks.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing? Anything? Any plans? That
kids softball games.
Softball games. Nice.
My daughter's in water polo, so
that's rough.
Yeah,
you get punched in the face a lot in water polo.
She's a goalie.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what? Well, so physically
shredding the whole time.
She's shredding the whole time.
So she's an animal, man.
Listen, I love her to death. She's never played a team sport in her life, right? So she didn't want. She heard about the nail scratching and the fighting and all that. She's like, I'm not sure about that, but I do want to play. So the starting goalie took her. She's a freshman, so the starting goalie took her under her wing. So she's learning a lot. But it was funny the other night they didn't win, and she's never had to deal with team dynamics, right? So she's normally she's only ever swam, so she worries about her PR and everything. So she before she went to bed, she was like, I'm a little frustrated with the team, Dad. Not gonna lie. And I was like, oh really? Tell me more, And she was like, I don't know. I just feel like they could have, put a little bit
you guys
more, put a little more effort in. And I was like, well, I said, you're a very young team and everything. I said, but this is team dynamics. You love the fact that you have that support, right? And you guys go out and do things as a team and everything, but you can't control everything, you know? And, so this is part of it. But
I think that's a girl thing, man. My daughter is too. Will call out laziness. Like she's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, so my daughter's a backup goalie, right?
Yeah.
And so in this sport, that you don't take a lot of time out. So when the coach says we'll be up 4 goals, and the coach will be like, okay, you know, you're going in with like 3 minutes left, but then the clock doesn't stop until there's like 17 seconds left, and then she goes in for garbage time 17 seconds. So like she's beating herself up because she's like, oh man, I let 2 goals in, and I was like, well, I mean, you've played less than a full game's worth of time, and you've never played before. I was like, slow down on your expectations.
I'd be pretty proud of it, and I like the... I'd be pretty proud, and I'd also say I like what I'm hearing out of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Momentum-wise, because, nothing gets me more, like inspired as a dad than when you hear something take root. And like May was calling out some of her contemporaries for, I gotta be careful what I say.
Yeah, same.
About just like running their mouth when the teacher's up there and it's ballet. And ballet is, it's very strict. It's almost military strict.
Did they have any shade covers for the bleachers? You have to do this during the day?
Games are at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
nice.
far,
That's
the games.
That is nice.
It is.
The gingers are in.
Right? Yeah.
You might want to investigate some water polo.
Yeah. I was just thinking.
Yeah. I had buddies that played, but it was brutal. The guys that I knew, I had a buddy get his nose broke because you're in there just punch.
Yeah.
You're throwing a volleyball, I guess, and you're just as you're throwing it, you punch your opponent in the face. Yeah. It's very difficult.
At least they're doing the games at night, though, because my son's swimming practice, when they used to do that, or during the day, I was melting, blazing sun. I was like, God damn, this stinks.
Yeah, the swim meets start at 7 in the morning, and those last 7 hours. And those are miserable.
Because they have to set it up differently, right? Because they have to set up the water polo area. So they do it later, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, they take out all the lanes or whatever.
Well, with a big enough pool.
I think you're overanalyzing it. The kids get out of school, and then they do some homework, and then they go play a game at night. You know what I mean? Like, let's not overthink this.
St. Baldrick's.
We're the overthinkers.
March 16th, Citrus City Craft. Yep. Go by and support these guys. Yeah. Again, it's from 1 to 5. Swing by. If you can't be there, shoot some money. We want to break that record this year because I think we could do it.
Yep.
stbaldricks.org.
There you go.
Central
there is
Florida.
a QR code if you decide to be generous. We would certainly appreciate it.
And thank you guys for effing around with us.
We
joke around a lot. I'm sure a lot of your buddies.
I think you got your yearly dose of garbage. Just straight garbage.
Do you even tell the other firefighters, hey, you got to listen to this? Or you're like, no.
We've done it enough.
Of course we do.
We've done it enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Robot Dan.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm back, baby. Hold on. Let me see if this thing. I got to bend over to get this thing. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Robot Dan in here.
One day off, back to work.
Yeah, 1 day off. My eyes are not working. I had an allergic reaction to my, apparently to my, well, maybe not an allergic reaction, but I had a reaction to the anesthesia.
Yeah.
And it made...
You're so high that your eyes don't work.
It made them water for like 12 hours straight. Like my eyes were crying to the point where they stopped. They didn't have any water left in them.
You make my eyes rain.
It was the worst. Like I told Andrea, I can take any level of pain because I've had the extreme pain. But I would go, this is going to drive me insane. I go, this is going to kill me because I'm not going to be able to see again.
So Paul Williams is here. How you doing, Paul?
Hey,
good to see you, buddy.
Paul's here because
happy marriage.
Thank you.
It's freshly married.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
The rubber
there
ring.
It is. Rubber ring. That's the way you do it.
And we had a meeting about Sofas and Suds and Beer Fest coming in November.
Different events, yeah.
If you want to sign up for Sofas and Suds, send us an email. Anyway,
yeah. If you got a couch, we'll put you in now. Let's do it.
But before we talk about all that, it's Daniel's first day back.
Yeah.
How was it? Or walk us through a little bit.
I can take you through it. I don't understand.
Scooter us through it.
Well, I don't understand why I had to be up at 5 a.m.
You do have a bright pink walker right next to you. And then when you came in, Andrew was helping you. You came walking in.
Yeah.
And I was like, it makes sense. And then I heard your bone split.
I got a whole
I do have a question about that thing.
Yeah, please.
Is it broken? It doesn't have the tennis balls on the end of it.
No, these are like little like ski slides on
Do you
the
need me
bottom.
to get you some tennis balls?
You know, the tennis ball, they don't run those anymore.
Oh.
A lot of people don't like the running of the
they
tennis
got
balls anymore.
Wheels, like,
Yeah.
which if before you put the tennis balls on there, I would have just been like, why don't you just put wheels to begin
Well,
with?
it's too slippy. They have double wheels. My wife borrowed me one that I nicknamed the Big Ralphie because it's humongous. It's for a man the size of Ralphie May.
Yeah.
God bless him. And he's gone, but not forgotten.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had this. It's as wide as the special seats at the doctor. On the front, it has dually wheels. Like you see, I'm running a thin wheel there.
Yeah.
On my big Ralphie, it's got dually wheels.
Oh, yeah, that's a real man's,
And then on the back, it's got
like a pneumatic tire?
yeah, like it's got the double where I could pull a fifth wheel. Yeah, I could pull a fifth wheel trailer with it. So she borrowed that from some fat ass listener of ours, and I'm like, how am I gonna? It weighs 75 pounds. I was like, this weighs more than I weigh. I can't use this. So we had to go to Walgreens. She ordered one that was red on at Walgreens, and when she went to pick it up, my daughter took it out of the box, and it's pink with red flames. There's red flames on the front. Like, I don't know who assembled that.
That's hot.
But it's pink with red flames. It works. It's fine. I don't know why I had to be there at 5 a.m. if my surgery was at 9 a.m. I was up at 4,
Yeah.
at surgery at 5.
So Andrew was giving us, me and Crystal,
Okay, good.
the text message, basically play-by-play
Yeah.
of what's going on. So she told us early in the morning, like 6, like, they just took him back, right?
Yeah.
So and I know that when they just take you back, they take you to a different room. They give you the propofol.
I think they take you
all
to
the
a
stuff.
different room and they disrobe you and start snapping Instagram photos of your penis. That's what I think they do.
Likely.
Yeah. So
You got some blackmail coming.
So they give you some pills, and then for this, the anesthesia I was going to get, and you and I had some questions about this, is a spinal anesthesia and propofol.
So, well, that propofol puts you to sleep, but they gave you a spinal block, right? Or something
They
like that?
called it a spinal anesthesia. That's what they called it.
Oh, it's similar to what you get when you're
giving birth.
Giving birth,
Yeah.
like,
I guess.
What's
I don't
that
know.
called?
Epidural?
That one.
epidural.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. He never said epidural. He said spinal anesthesia.
Okay, so
And then I don't think this guy liked me. He had an American flag do-rag on,
Oof.
and I said... I make jokes, right? I make jokes. So when I saw him, I'm like, thank God they got a Patriot on my gas. Now, I think that's a funny joke. I think that's a funny joke. See,
Yeah.
Paul laughed.
That's funny.
I thought you gave him the
This ain't no flag. It's a flag, and you better. That's,
never wear
you
it
know
on
that,
your
Do you know
head.
that song from Charlie Daniels?
Yes, I've
He goes,
heard it.
This ain't no rag. It's a flag, and you don't wear it on your head.
I thought you did that to him.
No, I did not. I said, well, thank God
Are
we
you
got it.
sure?
I looked at him. I said, thank God we got a Patriot on the gas. No one laughed, especially him.
How could no one laugh at that?
No one laughed. And then
those anesthesiologists, they all on the spectrum.
dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Like this guy was a shark. He was an anesthesia shark.
If
So
you
then
held up a chainsaw, he'll laugh. They think that's funny.
they do think that's funny. You start dancing around, yelling comedies back. So I looked at him and I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, I got some questions I got to ask you. So he's like, do you smoke? I'm like, nope. He goes, even marijuana? And I go, I do smoke marijuana. And he's like, oh, well, we're going to have to get off of that stuff and get you healed up. You're getting a hip replacement. We have to get off that stuff.
Well, get off it. You're
And he
a
started
drug
giving
guy.
me, he
You're
started giving
giving
me
me-
a whole lecture about my weed.
Well,
And then I have a theory. It took me a long while to get out of there and to wake up. I think, and I've always heard this, I think these anesthesiologists have the dead behind the eyes. He's, this one, I thought he was a good patriot. I thought he was one of the good Americans, but I think he dosed me up more because they think that if you use a lot of marijuana, that
The anesthesia doesn't work as well.
doesn't work as well. I've always heard that. Oh, yeah, don't tell them that. They're going to give you too much.
But that's if you're like Bob Marley.
I'm not Bob Marley.
Isn't that what you want, though?
Yes.
You don't want too little.
No, you don't want too little.
You don't want to wake up during your hip surgery.
What I will say,
Yeah.
I was there from 4 a.m.
Yeah, but too
till
much.
7 p.m. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was there the whole time.
Too much, you get the Jackson.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
Well, that's only if your anesthesiologist is watching TV.
What's he watching?
That's what he's doing.
That's
He's like, oh, he's dead.
Ninja Warrior replays.
Oh, dead.
That's the worst thing.
They killed Michael Jackson.
So
Anyway.
yeah.
He's in there watching Saw saw too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like, so I don't know. I just thought he gassed me up a little too much. And all in all, I will say I'm okay. During the surgery, though, the doctor, he said everything went really, really well until they set me, and then I guess they do a thing called a trial where everybody comes in and kind of looks at what they've done, and they were pretty pumped. They're like, "This is great, we did it."
What do you mean everybody? They're calling in.
Well, they had other doctors and nurses on staff.
receptionist?
So is there any chance?
Yeah, the stuff the magic dragon for the magic was in
Is
there.
there any chance that you got like something fused and you're going to walk out to the basketball court and be able to jump up and dunk
No.
the basketball? You sure?
Oh,
I
wow.
watched Rookie of the Year the other day.
No, everybody's been saying that. No, nothing.
What if
nothing
you get
like that.
one strong leg? And then or like you could kick anything?
Yeah, you kick a car down the street.
Yeah, no. Right now, I have very little strength in that leg, but I will say that like. After everything was done, they're trying to wake me up. See, I have a low resting heart rate naturally.
Yeah?
And they say it's from just genetics and also from drumming. There's been like these weird studies that of something where like drummers seem to have like lower resting heart rates. So they gave me this propofol. I'm coming too, but man, it felt good. Like I remember sitting in
Like,
the
what's your
bed.
resting heart rate?
My resting heart rate, if I'm like just normal is like maybe like 60.
Okay. Yeah,
I can get to
Oh, that's
55,
low.
55, 52. Sometimes when I'm in the bed sleeping, I
Yeah.
get to like 52. Well, I was hitting a 40 something, and the nurses.
My run's a natural 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrea's hot. Like Andrea's like Andrea's a 90.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, she's like a sprinkler, and I'm literally like dead. You know, like.
Yep.
So like it got down to like 40, and they're like, sir, wake up. I'm like, so apparently they kept yelling at me to wake up. Apparently, while I was under the propofol, I looked at them and I said, "Can I have the best goddamn sleep of my life?" I yelled that.
Andrew will say, okay, so I'll give you my point of view. So Andrew's like, they took him back. So I look at the clock. I'm like, all right, 6 a.m. And then I've experienced this before with other family members and people that I know getting surgery.
Yeah.
And it's always the loved ones like, oh, they took him back. And then it's just like, all right, then you wait, right?
Right.
And then, but there is a point where like you go about your day or whatever. Then you look up, it's like 1 p.m., haven't heard anything. Then you're like, oh, dead.
Yeah, I do that.
Because
Yeah,
you're like,
I do that.
Why is it like some complications happen?
I did that with the surgery, like sitting in my chair. You'll wake up and you'll be like, "What time is it?" You have your watch on. You look at it's 3, and you're like, "Oh, I'm dead." Yeah, you will. You'll be like, at least I did. I was like, "Oh, this is wild."
So it did take a little longer than I thought because I thought they were going to knock it out
And
quick.
I told you I was bad. Like the doctor said, this is one of the worst, if not the worst, he'd ever seen arthritis-wise. And apparently, when I was born, I was correct in my thinking that when I was born premature, that my pelvis was rotated, I guess, inward. And
We don't.
You got an
we don't
inward
say that.
pelvis?
Yeah, I got an inward pelvis. But you could just
This would make you better at dancing.
You could just call my pelvis your bro.
I
But-
got Paul with that one.
Yeah, see, the anesthesiologist, he was having none of this. But I think these are all quality jokes. So he was like, he got in there with a chisel, like a hand chisel. He's chiseling out this area, you know.
I just picture him like in a cave.
Yeah.
Mining diamonds.
It's like Leonardo da Vinci.
Isn't there
like,
a better way?
there's got to be. You would think.
You got a chisel?
Well, they used this.
They have Dremels for
Yeah, they use a
Christ's
Dremel.
sake.
They use a Dremel, but he had to get in there by hand. You know,
Oh.
it's almost like your dentist. He does some of it. You know, on the bottom, he'll do it with the regular thing, but then sometimes he'll get the scraper. He's to really get in there.
It's just
Scrape
like,
your plaque.
Yeah, you're like, are you, doing a sculpture of some sort? Like,
Yeah. I mean, but
I hope he chiseled a wiener on your femur.
He could have signed my uterus. I don't know. So he puts the ball in there. He gets me in the trial position. He sets me, and then they hear a noise. And then he's like, "Oh no!" And then when they go and look at it, there's a hairline fracture in the bone. So he took. So what he did is it rather than hoping for the best of me, like returning in a little bit sooner, I'm going to have to go the full 4, and then 2 other weeks with a cane.
Yeah, because even if you fracture your femur, I mean, that's a serious.
Well, it's not fractured. It's not considered a fracture.
Oh, okay.
It is like I guess technically a hairline.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not considered like a fracture. So he wired it up and he put it back in place, and here I am. So
So the wires stay.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I mean I didn't ask, but yeah, I think they stay in there.
Sometimes
I think those are my wires for good.
They use someone's a dissolve or something like.
I don't know.
I know so Andrea showed me 2 pictures. She showed me the X-ray of your new hip, and you see a metal, essentially the top of your femur is now metal, and then where your femur goes into your hip.
It's kind of wild. It's one of those things I don't like looking at, to tell you the truth.
And
I could see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I got to get used to it, I think.
And she showed me a picture that they took of your actual femur bone, the bone that they basically chopped the top of your femur off.
Yeah.
And
I got to tread lightly on this. I get a little nauseous talking about it.
It was like as smooth as a cue ball.
Yeah, it was as smooth as Jim Colbert's head. That's what everybody said.
And it's not supposed to be
the
that
doctor
smooth.
yelled that, and I could hear him. He goes, "This is as smooth as Jim Colbert's head."
So
will I set off metal detectors now? The chat room is asking.
Yeah,
yes, I will. Yes, I will.
You'll have
pretty
to,
awesome.
So
it
when
is
you
pretty
fly,
awesome. I can bring a big fat vape rig into the arena now. I can take any vape rig I want into the arena now because I have a card that's signed by my doctor and has his phone number on it. And it's like, you got a problem? Call this surgeon,
Dude, just do the other. Just pull your pants down and be like.
That's called the Mike Busey. Mike Busey will just pull his pants down anywhere, and then they'll ask him to leave.
So Andrea did say, like, she was like, all right, he's back from surgery, everything went fine. There was a hairline fracture in her femur, and I'm like, oh, that's
I figured you'd be like, well, that's the end of him.
And
I figured once you heard that,
he'll never come back from that.
That is what I thought with him because, like, he's,
I'm surprised you're
seriously?
here today. Yeah. Even when you said you're coming in today, I was like, no way.
Yeah, he's dead already. Who's texting for him?
Yeah.
Are there any plans for the service?
Who did you think was texting, pretending to be me? While I was
that's
dead?
like that guy out in Utah.
Yeah.
I just saw the documentary. I forgot his name. Anyway,
and they don't give you any pain pills. They give you tramadol, which is
that's what Lena was saying.
I almost said the S word.
They give that to my
it's
dog.
Nothing. It's literally nothing. It does nothing. It does nothing.
Really?
And I hope you're happy. All you roofing, all you pain pill addicted hillbillies that ruined it for all of us that can keep ourselves between the line. I hope you're happy.
God.
Did you know?
I hope every day when you wake up and think about your addiction, I hope it haunts you until the end of time.
I read a stat the other day that when at the height of the pill mill stuff.
Now, obviously, I'm joking.
90% of the pills doled out were from Florida. 90%.
Wow.
And if you look even further in there, like almost all of it was like all cottons. What kind of cottons do you want?
Yeah. Have you watched that painkiller documentary?
I have a bit of it,
the Netflix one? It's really good.
It's really good. And sad.
But
it's real sad.
But now they gave Daniel essentially what they gave Lena at the end of her life, which is
and this guy's like a
non-addictive tramadol's nothing.
He's a beautiful, like really good looking, in shape surfer soccer player surgeon, like with extremely high ratings, and he's like, you can tell this guy's like Mr. Fit. And I don't know if he gives the big jug of pain pills. I don't know if that's his way. Yeah, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Well, plus the magic.
I needed a big fat Andy Reid doctor to hand me the pain pill. You know
what
I mean?
did they say to you when they said we're just not going to give you any pain pills?
I didn't ask. I might shoot a text today and be like, "Hey, not for nothing.
Yeah,
but I kind of want it.
Your boy's in pain.
Everybody, when you're in pain, like what I like, I don't know if anybody like. I speak freely about it. You know,
yeah,
like
sure.
Some people they think it's a stigma or something. I like to get that good pain pill blast you get. Where you're like, whoa, where the hell am I? And then you can get back to work.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like just feeling
that stuff makes my
sore.
Skin itch.
Yeah, I like that.
Every time I've ever done,
I like that.
You're itching.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I feel like I'm trying to crawl out of my own body.
I can't do. It's been weeks.
Yeah. That was hard too. Getting down on the toilet's the hardest. Getting in the bed is the hardest thing. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Using the walker, that's fine. Walking around here, peeing, that's fine. All that's fine. Getting in the bed,
I come over and just transfer you.
I think you can't because these legs bend too weird. I got to do it myself.
So
yeah, it's weird.
Yes, you took a long time to come out of the anesthesia, and even Andrea was telling me at the surgery,
yelling at me like, "Wake up, sir! Wake up!"
At the surgery center, she was like, "He can't get awake," and it was hours. Like
he's milking it.
And
I honestly, and my eyes kept watering, and I couldn't wake up. And the lady was like, "She's like, your heart rate's too low. You need to breathe." And I'm like, just let me die. I feel so good right now. Just let me die.
I would have told him like he wants to die.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
You can't
hold
get
my
through
hand.
These are my wishes.
Take one of those weird photos that people do when their grandma dies, where's your hand with your grandma's hand.
Yeah.
Don't take those. Stop taking those photos.
Or the ones where you like actually get a selfie with them, like
oh yeah,
right at the end.
But you gauze it out.
It's like, do you think that person wants that picture on the internet?
No,
no.
But the best thing you could do, you know what I usually do for my grandma? I don't want people seeing her face. I put an eggplant emoji over it to cover it up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fine. You could do that. They didn't like any of my jokes. See, I'm doing jokes now. I was doing jokes right out of surgery. I'm doing jokes. Yeah. For some reason, right out of surgery, I also started defending my Tesla to everyone around me. Like, I was like, I'm not a Nazi. I did.
It's just an electric car, man.
Seriously, I'm just telling you guys what happened.
Are you sure you're not a Nazi?
And Andrea's like, shut up. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm not a Nazi, but I was like, I really do love the car. And Andrea was telling I was offering people test drives. I was like, you want to take it around?
Yeah, go ahead. Give it a whip.
Andrea's like, it's not here. What are you doing? Shut up.
It is weird that people go through that small amount of time where they're coming out of anesthesia.
It's the best feeling.
Where they can talk coherently, but they have no recollection, and they're a different person. Like, you're talking with no barrier.
Yeah.
It's like, what a part of the anesthesia is making this, and it's like, you're not a totally different person, but you have no filter whatsoever.
I started doing you. I started telling the nurse, who is like an attractive, like tattooed nurse with like cool nails, which does amp your anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping to get like some of the old, the standard issue nurses. I didn't get that. I got like the hot tattooed nurse.
Yeah.
So like immediately coming to, I'm like immediately walking in, I'm like, the scumbags are together. Look at us. Like I'm trying to make a rapport.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Great. She followed me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a new friend now.
Yeah.
Her and her husband.
So based on what the doctor says,
making friends in the ER.
Yeah, that's
like,
good spot.
You had your hips were positioned a certain way that made them wear out faster. That obviously have been giving you problems like since you were born.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't move your legs a certain way, and like you couldn't essentially pigeon toe because your legs didn't move that way.
I can't do pizza French fries.
So when
I've never been able to do that.
When this is
or touch my heels.
That's a tough one for me too. But
well, heels to butt, like a knee board position. That flexibility that your hips allow you to rest it's almost like some people use it in yoga as almost like you can use it to relax. I've never been able to put heels to butt ever. Never been able to do that. So
is that something you're going to be able to do now?
When I'm fully healed with like training, possibly. Like he said I will get motion I've never had before. He's like, you have life-changing motion now.
Yeah,
he's
awesome.
like, is this going to be hard to get you up and running? He's like, that depends on your positivity. He kind of gives me one of those, and I'm real positive about it. I'm doing everything that I'm said. Every pill is taken at the right time. I've given myself to Andrea, my wife. Like, I just say, you tell me what to do. If you see me doing something, just slap my hand.
Here's what I recommend.
Yeah.
If you start feeling down, start watching Rocky movies.
Okay.
Always works, man.
I like that. No.
You need some motivation, dude. You need to watch some. You need to watch some. Training montages.
Yeah.
Get the music. Get the Eye of the Tiger.
And the last
get it going.
Want me to get you a chicken to chase?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Jason. He'll sit in my lap.
You can
I will
chase
say
the
my
chicken.
dog Dansby.
You could be his Mick.
Dansby, the White West Highland Terrier, has been crazy protective of me. He will not leave my side. Like, very upset that I'm here today. Like, he just sits next to me like a guard dog.
If you think
he sits like he would have laid on my grave like one of the military guys. He would. 100% he would have done it. 100% he would have done it. Like he started growling and biting at Andrea, like because she wouldn't put him in the bed with me. And he's like, he's little. He's like, put me in the bed. Like, he put me in the bed, and he'll go and he'll just sit like right next to me, like this is my dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
it feels very stolen valor though, because I thought those were supposed to just be military dogs.
They also said you can't drive, but did you tell them that your car can drive for you? Because I thought about that. I was
like when I was defending the
and
Tesla.
I know they're going to say like, oh, no, that's still because you're in control. You need to be able to take over. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's what, they don't know.
Whatever.
Drive
I could use
fine.
my left foot on the brake.
Yeah.
Old people have been doing that for decades in Florida, right?
Elon said I could.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel, yeah. And you got one good foot. That's all you need.
Yeah, that is all you need. But I would say, all in all, it's pretty damn aggressive, but not as bad as I thought. And I certainly feel better here being able to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better. But yeah, I'm just tired. It's a lot. It beats you up pretty bad.
So you have that walker for
4 weeks.
You'll be able to. I think that's what they say in general, but I bet you a week later you'll be off that.
Yeah, I'm you can't.
You don't want to screw with that hairline fracture.
Yeah, that's the problem. The one thing with him is he's like, I had it where you would have been in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's like, I would have said, don't worry about the walker. But he's like, because you have that hairline, I need it to heal more. And he's like, it will heal. He's like, I know you're going to hate this, but you just have to carry the walker with you just in case. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll just do it. Why not?
I played golf with a dude that had a hip replacement a couple years ago, and he was playing golf like 5 days after his hip replacement. I was like,
Louise.
"Is this? Are you sure this is okay?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Eh," and I was like, "Eh." He's like, "I'm not in pain," so I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's that guy's kind of like me.
Your body, your choice.
Whatever the doctor says, I'm like, he's being conservative. I could do 1/4 of the time you're saying.
Overachiever.
But not even that. But and then I'll end up hurting myself worse. Or they're like, why?
Get a full whole body, lower body replacement.
Well, like the frustrating part in getting out was that I would stand up because they make you. They're real big on like you walked in here, you're gonna walk out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Keep kind of like your Rocky analogy. Like you're right. And we can end on this note because I thought this was kind of interesting. But they would you're going to walk out of here, okay? So you'd get on your walker and you'd stand up, and then you're hooked up to everything, and then your blood pressure would raise. Well, for me, and I had to explain this to them, I was like, I'm so nervous about not getting out of here because at one point they were like, oh man, if he keeps being so groggy, we're going to have to take him over to the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I don't want that to happen. Well, you can pretty much, you know me better than almost anybody. You can pretty much guarantee that when I heard that, the beeper just goes ding, because I was already getting anxiety for having to stay in there.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there and almost control my anxiety to get out of the hospital because it had nothing to do with my blood pressure or my stomach or anything. It was more just my own
nervousness.
My nervousness, So I had to just sit there and try to fully control it, and that was really hard. Really, really hard.
Yeah, because they're just looking at stats, and they're like, well, if as long as his blood pressure's here and his heart rate's here, then we can release him. If it's not, then you have to go to some different protocol.
Rules are rules. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Pain in the ass.
But not that bad. So I'm here, and not bad.
I know a lot of people have gotten this procedure or looking to get it, so it's. I bet it's interesting to them to hear your first-hand.
It's not what I wanted to do. I don't think anybody would want to do this. I don't think anybody chooses to do this. But if you're in as much pain as I was in, you'll do whatever you can to try to get out of it. So if anybody has any questions, email me and I'll try to do my best to reply to you.
So, Paul, I know we got Pints and Paul's coming up March 29th.
We do.
And you can get your tickets. It's a free event if you don't want to participate in the actual beer fest.
Yep.
There's over 100 plus breweries and alcohol being served. So
lots of THC seltzers out there this year, too.
Yeah. That's a huge thing
Do you have one that you like the most, or do you have one that...
So there's one that I like called Canna.
Yeah.
And there's this one called Flora. I like those two the best.
And you can sample all those because Pints and Paul's is a beer fest, which I feel, and we did this last year, but every time I look at the number you guys raised, and I'm like, there are, I see charity events and people are like, we raised $12,000.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, you're making them feel really bad right now.
I'm just saying, but that's awesome. Yeah. And then we do that too.
It's because I thought you were telling a story about how not awesome it is.
No, when we raise over $10,000, I'm super happy. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But last year you guys raised $128,000 for local pet rescues in
Yeah.
Sanford, and that's just 1 year.
1 year.
And
We
so-
will eclipse $1 million raised total over the 13 years this year.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
And so just get your VIP tickets. And by the way, you can go to pinesandpauls.com. Easiest way to get your tickets. I'd get the early VIP. It's only $90. And that comes with a pint glass, a T-shirt. It comes with the AC, private lounge. With
Yeah,
the
there'll
bar.
be food in there
Are
with
you going to do the
liquor.
bathrooms again?
So we're what we're doing this year for it is we're doing the venue room at West End.
Nice.
Is the VIP lounge. You can go in there and there'll be like different food from a whole bunch of different vendors. There'll be liquor. You can go in there and cool off and use the nice bathrooms. So that's our new VIP. We did the VIP different this year.
Awesome.
So.
And we also and there's also general admission tickets as well. And it's
one of the best
live
events.
music. And vendors, food trucks.
Yeah.
Bring
And
your pets, pet friendly.
Yeah, no, you're encouraged to bring your pets as long as they're not cantankerous.
That's an underutilized word.
It is. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring Dansby. Like he's a great boy, but he's a little loud. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
it's just
bring
like your buddy that you can't bring to the bar.
correct.
So
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see people like kind of bend these rules. And guys, just so you know, if you bring your bad dog to these type of events, we don't get our dogs at any bars.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah.
It does.
It happens a lot. So stop doing it.
Lena used to bite every other dog.
Yeah.
Bit Isley one
Yeah, she
time.
bit my dog. Yeah.
in the
Bit,
face.
yeah.
Bit my niece in the face.
Yeah. What do you normally
She
do?
was on Terminal too.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So
I'm going to bite your niece in the face.
We've had to tell some bad dogs to go home. In the past, so
That's
it
unfortunate,
happens.
right? Like, and awkward.
I think some people come out there, they don't know. Maybe it's their first time going to an event with their dog, and they'll be like, "Oh man, I guess I'm going to take this guy home, and I'll be back in a little while." That happens.
So, live music, anything else going on at Pines and Paul's, that we want to mention?
Yeah, there'll be a ton of food trucks, so lots of stuff to eat. Live music all day. That's something we haven't had a stage in the past few years. We re-added the stage. That way, when the beer festival ends at 4, the beer sampling's from noon to 4, and then the party still goes from 4 to 7. There'll be just bands going on, and you can just enjoy the streets. So should be nice weather.
Yeah.
So
It's been beautiful outside recently.
man, it's perfect right now.
Yeah.
Haven't noticed. I've been inside.
You're missing the good weather.
Yeah, I heard.
Only in Florida, you wake up, it's 47 outside, and then by 1 o'clock,
80.
Yeah.
80 hot.
Yeah, real hot.
Yeah, and it's like, God.
But like right now, it's that 80 with no humidity, which is like
it is nice,
dream weather.
It's beautiful. It's like our little slice of California. It
Yeah,
feels like,
it is.
So let's talk about the St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, man.
So that's this Saturday. St. Patrick's proper is on Monday, but we're doing our festival Saturday. It's we're doing wrestling this year. We're calling it the Shamrock Shakedown. We got a wrestling show planned. We got bagpipers coming out.
Little
We got
people?
bands all day. No little people, regular sized people.
I was booked for the show. I was booked for the show, but because of the
people
injury,
come in
I
all
had to
different sizes, so I'm not sure, but
I had to relinquish
it's not
my title.
exclusively little people.
Oh, okay, all right.
Bands
Florida-
all day, food all day. All the stuff.
So where's the wrestling going to be at?
It'll be in the where the VIP section for Sofas and Sons is in that parking lot.
You should do some bare knuckle boxing because the Irish.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, but little people.
I wonder if people still do that. Yeah, but that's only doing trailer parks now.
Little people bare knuckle would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
I think there are like small MMA groups that just do like bare knuckle.
Sure, you see it on YouTube.
Yeah. And then there's like
Oh, I like that. What's that? It's like a octagon made of particle board that some old man has like at his house, and he's like, "This is where we just fight them out." And then they video it, and it's like not sanctioned, but they're Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm going to go. People say you can't say this word. I'm going to say it. And I think I'm going to die saying it because gypsies. Gypsies
Oh,
will
yeah,
sell
I think you could say that.
Man, that stuff.
I think you could say that.
You're
you're okay with that.
There are some bare knuckle boxing gypsies out there that maybe we can.
I got a whole load of these gypsy things. So next to Citrus City and Lake Mary, apparently a bunch of gypsies go to the pizza place from time to time.
Pizza gypsies,
and they're
That sounds amazing.
like. Everyone's so scared to they're
afraid of the gypsies.
Yeah, because they put some sort of I don't know hex on you. I don't know.
But I heard they're nice people. They're just they just like to scam, right? I heard they're lovely people. But they'll just like use some sort of a card trick to steal all your money. You know what I mean? Like they're the shell game, right?
Yeah.
Shell game.
I saw.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had a
dog racing.
I had a girl
got the Winnebagos.
I had a girl I dated for a while, and she dated a gypsy.
All right.
And when she got in with the gypsies, they would go around and they would scam elderly people. She would tell. She's very pretty, and she would like scam the old people. She's like, if for $250, me and my gypsy boyfriend will get up on your house. And we'll use this sprayer with this
like a sealant.
with the sealant, the nanotechnology, and we'll spray your roof and seal it for leaks. Do you want that for $250? And most people would do it. And they'd get up there with the spray bottle of water, and they would scam these people, just spray water all on their roof and say, like, hey, you got to let it dry fully. And they get the $250. Yeah, so that's what I've always thought a gypsy is. It's just like
that's a good scam.
Just a simple scamming man.
I'm so lazy. I just get up there and walk around because I'm like they can't see me spraying.
But just in case you don't think they'd be listening for the
no. They're just hearing my footsteps. It's like, oh, he sprayed it good up there.
Like, how long what's the appropriate amount of time to spray a roof? How long do you got to turn it around?
I don't know. How are you going to know?
So you want to, because then you smoke some cigarettes up there just to...
Well, that does look like you're working.
Yeah.
If you smell cigarettes, you're like, oh, they must have found a problem.
They're getting it.
Yeah. They must have found a problem.
Because you want to make
That's a thinking man. You got to get a cigarette because you're thinking.
You are like, oh, he was up there for 3 hours. He must have sprayed it good. Anyway, so Paul...
Oh, yeah, we can't say gypsies. Christine says, Europeans use the word gypsy as a racial slur throughout centuries to justify discrimination and persecution of the Roma people.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Who are the Roma people?
What I'm saying is I can
say they make canned tomatoes.
Yeah, I love canned tomatoes.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Okay, I'll let Christine know. Yeah. You're saying I don't care what you think.
No, it's not, I apologize, but I just, I'm saying no one cares. There's no gypsy out there that's getting offended by it. So no one getting offended.
These are can we say the word travelers? That was the one I heard on Ron and Ron.
Yeah.
The travelers. And I had heard they didn't even like being called that.
Yeah.
Like I heard travelers.
Nomads?
I like the G word better.
I like the G word too.
I
like the G word better too.
So with the St. Patrick's Day party, when does it start again?
It starts at 4.
All right.
It'll be a lot of fun. So family friendly from 4 to 7. Then it's time to get the kiddos home and get a little more fun after that for the adults.
So it goes St. Patrick's Day this weekend, Pine St. Paul's next weekend. Anything else?
No, 2 weeks. Two.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks. God. Yeah. The spring break is throwing me off.
Yeah.
So spring break weekend, or at least Seminole, Orange County spring break. Does Volusia County have spring break?
They
next
do.
Week too.
No, it's the same week. Yeah.
We had the same week.
Okay, everybody's the same.
How's Wild West End?
It's going good lately. Also, that courtyard's been popping off a little bit better because Hot Asian Buns opened a couple of weeks ago.
That's
Bell Buns.
It's been fun. Oh man, they've been
buns.
so busy, just inundated, lines and lines and lines and lines of people.
Tons of Instagram content I see of people going like, "I'm here." They do a nice job.
Explain to me what a hot Asian bun is.
So it's a bao bun sandwich. If you're or taco, I guess you would. It's in the shape of a taco. If you know what a bao bun is, it's a pillowy, soft
like a
bao
sweet rice bread.
Yeah, it's yep. That's a good description.
It's like a sweet rice bread, like very tender and very. Oh, it's delicious.
So they have different, bao tacos. I'll call them tacos because that's what they're shaped like.
We make them at the house because you can steam those buns and then you just fill.
Yeah, they're a steamed bun. It's pretty. I got to watch them make bao the other day. They do they make bao on Monday because we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. But they make about 2,500 bao buns a week. That's what they're going through right now.
Yeah, they're good. I think you and your boys could get down on some of them. Some of them are spicy. Some of them are
they got a pork belly one. They have a fried shrimp one. They have a beef like a brisket one. They have vegan chorizo.
And it's not a ton of bread. It's more like it's hard to explain. It's more like just the vessel to hold it in, and it's very satisfying, the bread, and there's a sweetness to the bread.
It is.
That is extremely satisfying.
These are good descriptions.
It's nice. In fact, talking about
and
this,
then their French fries. They do kimchi French fries that are very good.
I like a meat stuffed in a pastry.
Yes.
I like a meat pastry.
Yes.
Have you ever had a kolache?
No.
I've had a kolache.
So it's it's a pastry stuffed with stuff, but lots of times meat. It's a Czech derived food. There's a place that's really famous for them in between Dallas and Austin called the Czech Stop, and when you go, it's right on I-35. When you go there are just lines and lines and lines. It looks like a convenience store, but you'll see like a couple hundred people in line to order. They're just making kolaches like by the thousands there, and the popular ones are like a sausage and like cheddar and jalapeno ones, stuff like that.
The chat room is speaking very highly of kolaches. We're making a lot of people
kolaches
hungry.
are delicious. They make sweet ones, savory ones.
Well, let's end with honeymoon, Paul. Where'd you go on your honeymoon?
So we flew into D.C. We stayed a few days in D.C. and did all the the touristy stuff there. Then we drove over to the Virginia mountains in the Shenandoah Valley and did the mountainside cabin with a hot tub with snow and all that stuff and just relaxed.
The mountainside cabin with the hot tub never gets old, man.
No, man, it was like so peaceful. We did only the stuff that we felt like doing. We slept a lot. We went and explored some caverns, which was really cool out there.
Just to lay there and talk with your new wife
and
or
just
husband.
sit there and hot tub it up and look out over the thing. And it was great. We have 5 kids between the two of us, so having a week with no disturbances, like
5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big family now.
Yeah, that's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
5 is a lot.
You ready for these ages?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
3, 5, 6, 8, 10 right now.
Holy smokes.
The most work.
Yeah.
You just described because the you don't even have a teen to start taking care of the young ones. Because that's where they.
No, Sadie does pretty good on that.
Yeah,
she's very helpy.
Yeah,
girls.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Girls, if they're all boys, can't do nothing.
And Dallas, he's good at. He'll do chores. So
Nice.
It's amazing how much more girls can do.
Yeah.
It's a shame you guys were born so weak because the guys are worthless. The boys
Strong, but can't do nothing. Yeah.
They're so stupid.
Yeah, there's no motivation there.
Yeah. What's that Martha Stewart documentary? I'll talk about it on Friday, but that is nuts.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, you should watch it.
No, I haven't seen it. What platform is that on?
She's nuts.
It's on Netflix. No,
She's a strong woman.
No, yeah, she is. She's doing the same things Gordon Ramsay would do, but everybody's like, "What a bitch!"
Yeah.
Like, literally, the talks to the people the same as Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, she's
and
no different.
We're just like, well, I can't stand this bitch. Back then, and it's insane what they put her in jail for. Ridiculous. Anyway, this lady could have been. She was at one time the richest woman in America.
That, yeah.
She could have been the richest woman in the world eventually, but they put her in jail for obstruction of justice. Some stupid.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that
real dumb.
insane. Anyway, so Paul, thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
congratulations again.
Good seeing you, dude.
Appreciate it.
And we'll take a quick. Actually, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Welcome to A Corporate Town with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can come over there and hang out with us. We'd love to see you. It's twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live or on YouTube at Tom and Dan Live.
And if you're listening to this on Friday, this weekend and Monday is going to be the last day of our BDM $5 T-shirt promotion for BDMs only. It's at tomanddan.com right now.
It's our way of showing some appreciation for you guys that have, believed in our product for a multitude of time.
Yeah, basically what we kind of settle into is we do this pre-sale, this $5 pre-sale T-shirt deal for BDMs only, and then we'll have villain clothing. We'll print the T-shirts. Then we're going to, put them all together and package them all on April 9th. That way, the next week during BDM Appreciation Week, which we do like April 14th through the 19th, is everybody will be getting their stuff.
And these are hand. This is old school. We do these by hand. We used to do. Well, these will be stuffed by our tired little hands. My tired little hands.
We do need some volunteers, so we're going to do it at Hourglass April 9th.
I was actually thinking of not coming now because of my hip. Hard to stand. Sorry. Hard to stand. Sorry.
So if you do want to volunteer to help us stuff all these packages and these $5 shirts, just send me an email, tom@tomanddan.com.
We'd appreciate it.
And so then we also have a bunch. We got new magnets. We got new stickers. We've got a bunch of sponsor gifts.
Yep, a bunch of one-off stickers. We have an event that if you are BDM that we conclude the week that you can go to.
Yes, and that's at the end of BDM Appreciation Week. We're doing a BDM only party, which we got Silver Linings playing.
We do. We have April Jennifer Choi with a whip show and possibly magic.
We got DJ Sharp's going to be there. It's going to be a good time, and it's going to be completely free for BDMs.
The DeLand Millionaire might be there.
So you can sign up at tomanddan.com to be a BDM, and as long as you are an active BDM, you can participate in everything.
Okay, I think we did. We did it? Okay, I feel bad because we do have a guest here. And she had to sit through the entire thing. It feels weird when you're having to give the rundown to somebody.
Did you guys bring me here to pack bags? I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do it. I will.
We love free labor.
And you look like strong. You look like you could do it. And you're a lady, which really helps because we know
more organized.
My little fingers, my little nimble fingers.
No, just smarter, just like my
harder working.
Yeah, harder working and tougher.
You got it. I'm there. You sold me.
So, ladies are better employees, by the way. Like it's just for every. It's
I
weird.
I can only go on facts here. Let's go on facts
because men want to be the boss all the time.
I had 3 employees. I had 4 employees here. We had Tony Palmiotti. Yeah. We had Lee. I don't even like mentioning him. We had Butler, and then we had Samantha. And I think you know that there are 3 that were
Eric
really...
is pretty good.
Eric is pretty good. But he's sensitive like a woman.
But not hard working.
But that's what makes him hard working.
I'm sensitive like a woman too. You're right. You're right.
And so Ross actually told us about Amy because Ross has been working with Amy, and so Amy is a licensed psychologist and a comedian, and you kind of tied those together. So, how you doing, Amy? First, thanks for coming in.
Amy LaCour.
You got it.
Amy LaCour's here. So, Amy, tell us about how you kind of mush these 2 worlds together.
Could have used a better word there. Could have used a better word there. This is my first day back, and this guy's asking, how's your mushing going?
I started to go meld. Then I was like, is it meld or weld? I'm like, I had no weld. I'm like, weld, mush.
You got it in my pills, didn't you?
We'll go with mush.
Yeah.
Mush.
All right, mush it is. How's your mushing, Amy?
My mushing is so good. Thank you for asking. I became a therapist, a mental health therapist. I've been about 20 years or so.
Wow. Okay.
I got my undergrad in psychology at UCF, and then I got my master's at Nova, and then I got licensed in the state of Florida, still counts. And so I did that for lots and lots of years, and then I started stand-up comedy about 6 years ago because of Ross. And, well, really, back then it was Tim Murphy that was doing the open mic back then.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to talk to comedians, and they didn't want to talk to me. I'd be like, why are you talking about your wiener so much? And they didn't want to tell me. You know what I mean? Or I'll be like, why do you talk about your mom so much? Like, why do you have all these daddy? They didn't want to talk to me about it. So I created a show where they have to talk to me about it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Because I was about to say, comedians are the most screwed up. I don't know if you knew this.
I didn't know when I started.
Terrible people.
I didn't know that when I started. Because you see after, when they have the show, and you're like, oh, they're going to be so fun. And no, they're the saddest.
Miserable. They're just looking to get laid, get some drugs,
and like, I'm a middle-aged mom. They don't want to talk to me. They're like, get this old lady out of here. You know what I mean? So it's like I couldn't really find my footing.
No, but they'll do you because they're, you know what I mean?
They're sex addicts.
You may think that they are. They're sex addicts. They're horrible.
Well,
Right.
And I find you very attractive. I'm not
Thank you
trying to
so
make it
much.
weird, but I'm just saying.
My smush.
I just want to say that the comedians do not have a line. I don't think they have a line on that.
So let's talk about
Not my comedian friends.
Amy, let's talk about that
Yeah.
and dive into it for a
Sure,
second
yes.
because we make the joke comedians are screwed up,
Yes.
but for the most part, that stereotype is kind of true, and the comedians will tell you it.
Right.
They lean in.
As far as the group, like everybody's got a lot of people dark sense of humor, or
Right.
whatever. Like they're a little off in some way, makes them interesting, and
Yes.
also I feel like it's better for comedy, right? And the more like well established and mentally healthy you are, the less funny you are. Like the less trauma
Yeah.
and more mental.
Like astronauts are not very funny because their mental health and their IQ is very high and dialed in well, right?
Yeah,
so I don't think you're going to get a lot of crazy there.
It's why.
Except for that one lady that was peeing in the diapers.
Where else is she supposed to pee? Isn't she supposed to? Oh,
She's an
she wasn't in
outlier.
space. She wasn't in space.
Yeah,
peeing
she
in the
was
diaper.
striving for it was a love triangle of some sort.
That's right. That was so interesting.
But there's a couple things like that make you not as funny. I feel it's like a discipline. Like it's a reason why like David Goggins isn't funny at all. Like that guy has never told a joke.
No.
Like he cannot be
can't.
funny. And then, like I feel like there's if you are extremely disciplined, crazy, like it takes away some of the comedy.
Yeah.
You know, like also like if there was no trauma in your life and you had a normal upbringing of like super supportive family and parents that were together and you did it and like all that was right, like I feel like harder to be a comedian. I'm sure it exists, but there's a reason why the majority of comedians have some sort of like background of either like didn't have a stable upbringing or have a lot of like emotional problems or like they're some any sort of mental illness and
let me ask you
depression.
this, Amy, why did you gravitate early on when you decided that you wanted to make? Is it psychiatry?
Yeah. So when I wanted to become a therapist when I was 12 years old. Really? Someone in my family tried to kill themselves.
Oh my God.
We all had to go to therapy together, and I left that appointment. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could talk for a living, and I was like, I want to do that. So ever since then, I always wanted to do that. And so, I got into my first job was as a forensic mental health specialist. So all my clients had forensic charges, like not guilty by reason of insanity. Fascinating stuff. So that's what got me.
That was your
into it.
first?
Yeah, and I made like $11 an hour. No, I think it was like $9 an hour.
And you're talking to wackos?
And I had 100 people on my caseload, and
That's a lot.
everybody had done something wild. But here's the thing:
What's the wildest one?
Yeah, but those are the ones that need the most help, right? Those are the ones we don't want to help. Those are the ones that need the help because they'll be out on the streets, literally murdering. And I don't want to say that everybody that's mentally ill is going to murder somebody, but
That's what I thought.
No, I didn't.
your eyes are getting big.
I expect Daniel to kill me any day now.
Well, I'm going to get these shows done first.
Oh, that's true. Oh, look at that. That's a good work ethic.
Yeah, get our work done.
So that's what started it. But as far as like the comedy, I wanted to do comedy from like 6 years old, from all the reasons you just said, like moving a lot, being a weird kid, being kind of poor and stuff like that. And we got cable when I was like 6, and I started seeing stand-up comedy, and I always wanted to do it, but I had terrible stage fright and terrible anxiety. So I didn't start comedy until I was like 36, 37.
Oh, right on. Like Rodney Dangerfield did that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he started like right around that age.
I love, and they were talking about Martha Stewart. She didn't get famous until like 50 years old. You know what I mean?
in her
I watched that
40s,
documentary.
yeah.
It was
Jelly
amazing.
Roll didn't get famous until 42.
Look at that. I could be Jelly Roll. I'm 42.
Yeah, you can't be Jelly Roll. You're way too small to be Jelly Roll.
I could get there. I could get there.
I don't think you can. Nobody can. Do you eat your boogers?
Oh, I will. It's like whatever I got to do. You know what I mean?
Jelly Roll eats his book.
Come on, quit bringing that up.
Why? Why are you drawing a line in the sand? This is supposedly
on open space, but
this is supposedly country music's darling. But he should be persecuted for it.
Right. He should be eating other people's boogers. He's got the money.
Like there are plenty of fat, obese country stars out there that don't eat their boogers that should be given a shot.
You know that's right.
So Amy, I'm curious, going back to like working with like forensic psychology, because there are people that want to use mental illness as an excuse or as justification for the crimes they commit as a effort to get less punishment, right? Mm-hmm. So how can you tell if someone's faking mental illness? Mm-hmm. Because if you're smart enough, I feel like you can, we all have access to unlimited information. You could look at all the symptoms and just mimic something to trick a psychologist.
This was my number one question.
He's got all these boxes checked. He's got, bipolar,
when we had the Weird Job guy on, that's what I wanted to know. That we had a Weird Job guy on who worked at a mental institution, and I was like, did anybody ever go there and pretend to be crazy and just live there?
Well, you get tired, you get fatigued. So you can, train yourself to be psychotic and all those kind of things. But after a while, it's going to break. And then, as a trained clinician, after you see people, my caseload again was 100 people. After a while, you can tell if somebody's faking or not. And if they are faking, then that's a different disorder, right? That's like a personality disorder. So there's still a disorder, but medicine's not going to necessarily fix that. And so if that's happening, then you have to do lots of different tests. You have to do lots of different assessments, and there's ways to absolutely tell. And then so my main population that I worked with had schizophrenia, bipolar. I've seen active schizophrenia, and you can definitely tell because they are in a different world. And then they do what's called word salad, where it's their words are in different places. You can literally, how you can tell when somebody's drunk?
Yeah.
Same thing. When you learn how to spot it as a clinician, you can tell a mental illness, and I can tell the kind of drugs you do really quickly. If you walk in, I can tell you, oh, that's an opioid user. Oh, that's a pot user. You can usually, you know what I mean?
I can do that too. It started with races. That's a black guy. There's an Asian guy.
The pain pill people, they fall
white
asleep
guys.
standing
They're white
up.
guys.
they have white tennis shoes and they have really good hair.
But it's it's the only.
Do you know how good it feels laying that last tomato on the subway sub? That's what I felt yesterday or 2 days ago when I was like, oh my God. They're like, wake up, sir. I'm like, oh, it feels so good putting this tomato down.
Let's say going back, because then
you ever have somebody grab you by the throat and say they're going to kill you?
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
really,
and threaten me and stalk me.
See, I asked a good question.
Oh, stalk you?
Yeah, stalk me.
You had a stalker?
Yeah, and again, you can tell if they're in active psychosis. I have to, and I'm able to put you into the hospital. So that's the thing about it when you become a licensed therapist. I'm a mandated reporter, and I hated doing that part. But I can put anybody in the hospital. Not a threat. I'm not threatening you.
You put me in the hospital.
Yes, I could.
Could you do it for the show?
I could, but I might lose my license if it's not ethical. And two, the hardest part is if you're not already at a facility, then getting transportation, because the police do not like to transport someone just
because you pee in the back of their car.
All of it.
They hate that. They hate it when you do that.
That's the hardest part, is getting them and that was a while ago, so I don't know if it's different now, because that was during my internship. And I don't work on the unit anymore. I stopped working at those kind of facilities when I had a kid.
I don't work on the unit.
I don't work on the. So I stopped working on the unit when I had a kid because it was hard for me to mentally deal with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And as
it's definitely a thank you for your service job.
It's awesome if you have the energy and time and the money. But again, I was running a whole team of adult therapists, and I made $12 an hour as a licensed master's level therapist. So after I had a kid, I was like, I can't afford to do this,
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is that we put so much time and resource into mental illness in the society. It's covered now.
Never, not at all. No.
There's so much money put at, and there's so many facilities for people to reach out to.
In fact, I feel confident right now.
We don't even need you anymore.
I feel very confident right now that the government, that's what they're worried about, is our mental health.
That's absolutely it. And I will go back to direct care after my kid's grown. I have a teenager now because I miss it. But
so that was going to be my question. What's the? Can you pinpoint the love? Is it the helping aspect?
It's like podcasting, right? It's literally the same thing. As you have someone come in, but you're. I don't know how you all help people too, but you're literally able to help people in their lives figure out what's going on with them.
I think we hurt people.
Us? Me and you?
I've seen more hurt than help.
Oh, yeah. I like to break people.
We make a lot of people. We make fun of them.
I like to
their face.
gaslight people and pull them into my web, and then I like to break them.
We have this one guy we just bring in, and just make fun of him the whole 40 minutes. He just keeps coming in.
And here's the beautiful part: he will turn to us after we're like, "You're fat, you're gross," and he'll turn to us and be like, "Thanks for letting me do this, guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, get the hell out of here, you sack of crap."
Yeah, it's a kink, and he loves it.
He
Like,
does
you're
love it.
helping. You're helping.
I am like audibly stomping his testicles.
He's like, "Thank you, master."
He does, and then he'll text me. He'll be like,
I'm like, "This guy's crazy."
I was like, next time I'm going to spit in your mouth, filthy animal.
Thank
you.
This is some weird torture, psychological torture we've done.
Next time I'll make you get on your knees and we'll, do some water
That can be a
sports.
disorder. But all that can be a disorder for
We'll do water sports.
So, Amy, back to the comedy.
Yes.
And from you even interviewing a lot of comedians on stage and stuff, have you found that a lot of comedians have some of this in common, where they have some trauma, they have some, maybe depression or
traumedy.
It does seem like, just like Kanye West have been talking about. I know he is ridiculous what he's doing, but he's talked about how he uses his bipolar and his manic episodes as some sort of fuel to come up with crazy business ideas and music and stuff, and that's like he attributes that to his success.
Did you see his latest this morning?
No.
5 a.m. this morning.
More
I know
Nazi?
because no, he's not. If you have a young black child that's willing to shave his head, and he's the ages of 5 and under, that would like to be in his all-male boys choir, they're having an open audition. I'm shaving Maisie's head, and I'm going to try to slide her through the cracks.
Put her in blackface.
I'm going to try to slide my daughter.
that.
If I put Maisie in blackface and shaved her head, Kanye would start hugging me.
You do for your kid.
Yeah, I get a free swastika shirt.
Whatever you need.
That guy's a nut.
Have you noticed that in comedians?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think every comedian has a gaping hole to fill.
Ew.
Yes. Like, there are funny people in the world that are just funny behind doors, but they don't have that need to, get that love and attention. And many comedians want just one-sided love. They don't want to have to give it back. And so there's, I've seen...
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that they want to get loved, but they don't want to do the work to love anyone back.
Okay, I got you. Yep.
Right? And a lot of entertainers are like that. Think about someone like Johnny Depp. He pays for everybody in his life. He doesn't have necessarily
Sorry, when you said Johnny Depp, I just think of poo-poo in the bed now.
Exactly. And think about but a lot of people in the entertainment industry will create that a world for themselves, right? To where they can be the king or queen and then be able to not have to do the extra emotional work. And a lot of comedians are like that because they've created this person or this persona to be really funny, really nice, and then you meet them in the real world, and you're like, oh no,
they're different.
Yeah,
they're on stage.
It's a character.
I've noticed that with
Killer Bees, the comedian that comes in here.
It's a comedian called Killer Bee.
You turn the microphone off in here, and that guy just becomes a sadistic bastard.
His name is Killer Bee.
No, he's not. He's a very nice man. I'm just being stupid.
Well, Amy, this is for real. And I've thought about this high a lot.
Yeah,
is that
you get high, Amy? We do.
I'm sober, unfortunately. I'm a terrible.
Well, it's not real.
We'll get there. I'm a very fun person until I'm not. But I'm
California sober.
I'm not
cool or not.
When my kid grows up, I'll be a junkie. It'll be great. It'll be so. I gotta be a mom for a little while.
When my kid grows up, I'll be a junkie.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. I love drugs.
I've noticed this in a lot of broadcasters that have been doing it for a while, and myself, and even me and Daniel, where the way we act and our persona on the show has differed from our real life personality.
Yeah.
It's similar. And it's not like we're putting on an act, like we're the same person. It's just a slightly different thing that we're doing that allows us to be different than we normally be off the air.
Right.
And it allows us to do our job better. And because of my personality off the air limits me from being I
hate your personality. I hate him off the air.
It's the same.
Despise it. I can't even talk to him.
But
I'm like, turn on your mic so we can talk.
And is that
because you're men have to have a reason to talk to each other.
He's very abusive
talking
to
on
me.
men.
We can get to that too. We'll talk about
women.
that.
He pushes me around a lot. Like, he's very abusive.
But is that like disassociation? What is that?
That is taking a piece of your personality, and it's an enhanced piece of your personality, and it's a curated piece. So that's my favorite thing about doing the psych show is I tell everyone that comes on, every comedian, I'm like, you make it as real as you want it, right? So like the first show that I did, Donald Evans was on it, and he has his character.
He's a good comic.
Yeah,
that
like his
funny.
character is like a total butthead jerk, you know, and I'm like, and that's the character that he brought. However, the best thing is that when you get them up there, because how it works is I have them do their set, and then I do a session with them. And then I also have the crowd ask questions. I call them my psych support. And so there's a lot that comedian has to do. And so by the middle of the session, Donald kind of broke a little bit. And you could see him get audibly mad from one of the questions. And it's just really interesting because every comedian kind of comes in saying, oh, I'm going to be this character. But when you start actually kind of like digging at things, it becomes very real and in a safe way. I'm never a jerk. I'm not Jerry Springering it. I truly do care. Like when you're up there, why are you saying these things, and why is it funny, and why is it good, and why is it weird? You know what I mean? I love that. Like I started comedy because of that. I was like, oh, people are going to want to talk about jokes. No, they don't want to talk about jokes. They want to talk about their wieners, which is great, fine.
Yeah.
But I love.
What does that mean if you're obsessed with your wiener?
Probably a personality disorder or a sexualized disorder, most likely.
Okay, I think I have all of that. There's never a time when I'm not touching it.
There you go.
In fact, right before I just talked to you, I touched it.
No, I did bring my DSM, my therapy book, so we can diagnose y'all if you want. Everybody usually asks. Well, it's not a real diagnosis.
I'm open. Like mine, they know what I am. This guy is he's the hidden pyramid. Like this guy, no one knows what's inside there.
No therapy for either of you?
No therapy for him. His dad died in a hurricane trying to save his family's vessel.
Yeah, but you know what
and then his family looked at him that day, or like the day after, and was like, "You're the man of the house now."
How old was he?
10.
Wow.
Now the
did I go too soon into that? Did I go too soon into that?
No, I want to.
That didn't change me.
We can talk about my wiener.
That's the thing about the show. I always I ask every comedian on 0 to 10, how real do you want to get, right? And so if it's 10, I go in, I really get deep. If it's a 0, we talk about your favorite color. So I'm still, number one, a clinician. I'm still a therapist. I'm still here to help. I'm still here to like dig. I'm not here to make someone look weird, look bad, feel bad.
Well, we do that ourselves.
Right. And they do. A lot of comedians will.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun way to view it because you can have anybody on the show and it just puts that therapeutic lens. So everybody in the crowd is kind of thinking about it in a fun, weird, therapeutic way.
Do you wear a lab coat?
I should. Maybe I will.
Yeah, I would like to suggest you wearing a cool lab coat.
I need more of that. I need
like
more
a branding.
Yeah, I need more branding. I don't have any branding really.
I'll help you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think you're great. This is such a great idea. And Tom and I, and I'm just going to throw this out here. We have constantly wanted somebody that can, in a comedic way, explain to us these things, but also turn that switch where it's like, I'll do comedy for a little bit, but if you guys really want to talk about it, we can turn the switch off and be serious.
Yeah.
And I think you're that person. Wow. We've needed you to come in here and talk to us about this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Because we do enjoy it when we get into these type of, and lately he and I have been doing these like, long philosophical old man we're doing it kind of like we're kind of like pumping each other up and like where the hell is that coming from?
Yeah.
And it's something.
Right.
So you watched the Martha Stewart documentary.
Oh my God, I loved it. It was so good.
And you'll understand this. I'm Stewart. And I'll explain because when me and my wife
Stewart Little.
When me and my wife were watching Martha Stewart, except for all the good business ideas and her ability to be a bitch to someone. Yeah. That's smart.
I'll give you a few business ideas. I'll give you business ideas.
But how she's unemotional,
I love it.
right? Mm-hmm. And then so you start going back. It's like, oh, it's because her father making her garden and
I have a diagnosis for her in my head, anyways.
So then my wife used to, because she psychoanalyzes me all the time. She's like, she sent me to a therapist before, and then
how'd that go?
Well, we just ended up talking about running because I was like, I know all the stuff. And so back to the being unemotional, and she's like, you're unemotional because you turned off your emotions when your dad died, and it's a trauma that caused you to be like this. Now I was like, okay, because I don't even care about thinking about any of this. And so then after my first son was born, and it took my second son being born to realize this, because my second son's really emotional,
he
super
likes the
emotional.
second son the best.
And
he says that to me.
My first son, Tommy, is exactly like me, like unemotional, like not even unemotional, but doesn't like to show his emotions, and very like things don't affect him. He's very logical.
Shy? Is he considered shy? Would you consider
He's shy?
him shy?
Yeah, oh yeah, super shy, and similar to me. And then I look at his
'cause you're pretty
personality,
shy.
and then I'm like, oh, well, this kid's had zero drama. In fact, I want to give him some because I'm like, you're gonna end up not funny.
Every morning he starts to think about like the new. I'm gonna pop out of the window and scare you good. You know?
It's hard when you grow up with trauma and then your kid doesn't, because I have the same issue and my kid has my same issues, but she's had the best life. And then you don't want to like hand down your generational trauma, and then you're like, but I did everything for you. It's very difficult. It's hard.
But what I'm saying is so I'm like, oh, it wasn't the dad dying or whatever that made me unemotional. I was born this way, just like Tommy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just born.
But why does it have to be a switch? Can't it be a little bit of, like she's saying, like where your argument breaks down is you're like, well, of course it's not this. It's absolutely this, and that's not what it is.
I know it's a little bit of both.
It's half
well, then you should say that, and you'll sound more intelligent.
It's generational trauma. Like you can literally get your trauma from like your sperm passed down, basically. Like it'll come through
old sperm.
Trauma through that.
Trauma through old sperm. So my dad could have had traumatic
your
sperm.
Grandpa could have had traumatic.
Oh, I know he did.
Or your grandma's eggs could have had.
Oh, my grandma has a wilted ass eggs, man. Oh my God.
So there's the generational trauma, and then there's.
Hold on, how do you transfer trauma and genetics?
It's like how you're set up. So trauma affects your brain. It affects what you put into your body, right? So, and as it does that, then it trickles down into your wing. So all of that is connected, and your genetics and your DNA, right? Like my kid does stuff that like my mother does, and they don't even barely know each other, right? And so I know that's DNA. And then there's stuff that she does that I know I did wrong or my husband did wrong. I'm like, that was me. You know what I mean? Like, because my husband is more kind of like where he doesn't talk about his emotions, kind of like suck it up kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And so then she'll stop herself from like crying sometimes, and I'll be like, no, we want her to cry. We want, like, crying is like peeing. Like it's something that your body needs to do.
Oh my God. My wife's a squirter.
Come on.
We need
She cries all the time. I'm allowed to say that. It's a comedy show.
We need all those things. Everything that your body does needs to happen in some kind of way. And that's really what mental health is. It's not about being perfect or good or bad. It's literally allowing your body to do what it needs to do to reset and be at a balance.
Can you work out instead of crying? Anything else?
Actually, the best type of therapy is called somatic therapy, while you're doing both. Because if you can connect your body and your brain together, then you can really, truly process emotions. So there's like a thing called EMDR, where it's like you'll do like tapping. And I'll do this at my show sometimes. I'll do some like called FU tapping, where we're like, FU, and so like if you are working through those things and moving, that's the best thing you can do because it's really grounding you. And so, yeah, absolutely. So if you're running and you want to work through your emotions, talk at yourself and yell at yourself and whatever, and process it while you're running.
Oh my God.
I do yell at myself.
Yeah, I would blow my head off. If I had to listen to you talk about
I'm going to lose my license.
If you had to talk about the stuff you talk about in here as you're running, oh my God.
I am a mandated reporter, so if you joke about killing yourself, I have to take you to the hospital.
We'll joke around that. We do every time.
I will put you in the hospital.
I'll stop saying it. I'll stop saying it. Just for you, though.
Thank you very much.
But it's usually as a last resort because the whole world's coming down. So it's the only way
Martha
out.
Stewart. You wanted to say about Martha Stewart. What was it that you wanted to ask about her?
Oh, no, it's just
don't yell at our guests.
I'm used to it. It's fine.
maybe it wasn't that her environment, or she was just born unemotional. You know?
She is neurodivergent. I would diagnose her with some level of autism, honestly, because when I watched her, how she was able to manage her emotions and be so calculated. There is some trauma, obviously, but there's also a lot of neurodivergence, which is sometimes really helpful because she's able to turn off her emotions. Like, I wish I was like her because I'm very emotional and I have to let it all out. I have to cry.
Yeah, me
For
too.
her, when she was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't cheat on that guy," I thought she was so fascinating to be able to just be like she was. Most women aren't allowed to be that way, and she's been that way since the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was inspiring. I wish I could be more like her.
Emotionally. I'm very emotional, very reactionary.
Me too.
So I have a tendency to pop off because I know that it feels better, maybe. And
then do you ruminate? Kind of
I'll run the
think
scenario.
about it.
Yeah, a million times.
Me too. And I don't like that because then it clouds what decision you want to make.
Yeah.
And so someone like Martha Stewart.
It's just noise.
Yeah, and my husband's more like Martha Stewart, where you can put him in any situation, he's going to be fine. Yesterday, I was at the Walmart parking lot and I fell and I stopped traffic and I cried. You know what I mean? And it was embarrassing.
You fell down at Walmart crying.
Oh my God!
I got road rash.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I can't talk. See, I'm gonna
Do
cry.
you need my ice? I'll give you
You're
my
gonna cry
ice.
from falling at Walmart?
Oh my God! Don't cry! Don't cry!
It's good. It's like peeing. I'm peeing here.
Yeah,
I'm peeing over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, don't pee. Oh my God, she's
Crying
peeing.
is
Oh my God, she's
embarrassing.
peeing. She's peeing.
So exactly. But I've learned. I'm 42. I've learned to not shame myself as well, right? Because we are told oh, if you're crying or this, it's too soft. But if you learn how to harness your
Tom
emotions.
says if you cry, you're a pussy boy.
Which is fun. As long as you love being a pussy baby, right? And that's the thing. It's truly being the most you can be, because that's what I've learned from stand-up. When I started stand-up, I wanted to be a stand-up versus myself, and I wasn't being authentic, and people can smell that on you. And so now, as I'm working on my stand-up, I'm like, I have to be authentically me, and I don't like that feeling because you're gonna know weird stuff or you're gonna think weird stuff about me. But it's connecting all those things. It's connecting that balance versus fighting against it.
Do you think the best artists are the most screwed up? Because I watched that Amy Winehouse documentary, and I'm like, man, she's such a brilliant artist, but so screwed up emotionally,
didn't really
and
help her that much either. I feel like her dad,
but mental
kinda
illness,
dropped the ball there, man.
And then you see
he was more concerned about his own entertainment journey.
Right.
It seemed like if he had concentrated on her sobriety as I would if Maisie started drifting down that path, he could have maybe.
It all comes back to the dad. It all comes back to the. If you have a bad dad, I think if you have a bad dad, you're effed for a long time.
Why?
No, really?
Why the dad? What's the dad thing?
What if he's too fun? Because I worry about that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And
That's a good
he
question.
delivers you egg sandwiches every morning while you watch anime.
Right. Well, for women, I mean, and I don't
making
like.
you tough.
I think that's awesome. And now I know it's not making your son tough. It's not. But if I were one of your sons, I would love you to the end of the earth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and they see that and they love you and they're going to understand what you did. But I think so. If for a woman, and I don't like to generalize with just genders, but a lot of times for a woman, if they're you heard daddy issues, obviously. If they have a dad that's not great, then they're always going to seek that same kind of love in a man, and that's going to be their full life, and that's not always healthy. If it's a boy and their dad is bad, as far as the dad not allowing them to be who they truly are, then they're always trying to find and seek that emotion. I think every comedian that I've met has a bad dad.
Wow.
I would say I would do a study on that. Would be a great study. If we went and they probably wouldn't talk to me about it. If we gave them, I can't give them money. That's not ethical. Anyways, no. So most comedians that they all have either absent dads, abusive dads. I couldn't tell you one comedian that I've talked to that's had a good dad.
But there are some,
Interesting.
and who knows?
I
just
think
from the
my
stage-
dad is the greatest human being on the. I love him so I miss him every day.
Yeah. But the craziness makes you funny. If your dad was great, you gotta.
All right, I'll take that.
You
I'll
gotta
take
have
that.
bad dad or crazy.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right, and that's I guess you can't talk about absolutes either.
You can't be
right?
not crazy, good dad.
Right.
Not funny.
Yeah.
Right, my dad is hilarious. He's funny. He's from Boston. He's loud. He would take us to the bars in Daytona at 6 years old, and I could party. I partied hard early. That's not a great dad, right? I love him. He's great. But those things changed who I was and made me who I am in a good way. But also there was a lot of trauma there. early, you know?
Yeah, and I'm learning too that trauma can be really pretty much anything, you know, like it depends on the person.
If it changes your genetic your makeup in your brain, and like you're talking about over and over again, like, and if it truly like changes how you feel and emote, then that can definitely be.
Because I think most people think it's got to be something insanely severe.
No,
like for me, one of the things that my therapist was working on is that, I'll just give you the short of the long, is that what would be the worst possible scenario for an only child? Well, based on me, it would be losing both parents. And what has happened?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, so she's like, this makes sense to me.
Right.
Because, you know, you figured out early on that your mom and dad were integral to, very important to you. And by you losing them both, that's not losing a cornerstone. That's losing more than
your
that.
identity and who you are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when people like, oh, there's, you know, I'll never be mentally ill. Anything can trigger that, right? So you could have a whole wonderful life and then you have a trauma when you're older and it can trigger mental illness, and not in a scary bad way. It's literally, again, your body and your brain figuring out how to cope and manage. And that's what it is. Mental health is literally figuring out the coping skills to work through it. So you're not taking it out on the world. You're not taking it out on your kids, your wife, you're shooting up a school, right? Like that's the whole purpose of mental health, is just knowing these emotions, knowing yourself deeply, which same thing with stand-up comedy, and knowing how to harness that the way that you want to harness it.
So, okay, couple questions. One,
you got some time.
So I've been also thinking about trauma, right? Yeah. So everybody's trying to avoid trauma because we've seen what kind of effects trauma can have.
Process it, I guess, I hear people talk about.
Yeah, but if you can generally avoid traumatizing your kids, then you know, something that you didn't think about 50 years ago, whatever, because you didn't even know, like, you know, I'm like, you know, kicking the dog around, I'm drunk, I'll slap my wife, you know what I'm saying? I scream, I'll kill you. You know,
no, I would argue.
You never thought that, like, oh, my kids probably shouldn't hear this. Like, I would argue, couch.
But what if the dog? What if the kids hate the dog too? So then that's a bonding experience. No. If that's a bad dog, and
if the dog likes it, that's what it is. Okay. If the dog likes it.
Thank you, Amy. So, we have a professional here.
So then I'm like,
it's all about consent. It's all about consent.
So I'm like, all right, that's probably a good thing. But then I started thinking, I was like, well, wait a minute. What if because I like evolutionary psychology,
Love
right?
It, yeah.
So, and you probably have, you know, way more than I do. Although
he doesn't really believe that.
I think we know this.
Yeah. I like to try and get in front of those. He's been telling professionals for years. He's like, I value what you do, even though I know I can do it.
This is all. I'm crazy too. Just like
me too. Absolutely.
She knows.
Me too.
We're all crazy. We shouldn't even be talking about this. Anyway, but so I started thinking. I was like, wait a minute though. I bet you our ancestors, like the hundreds of thousands of years, like especially before civilization, when we evolved into humans, like they were going through rough times. Like we were basically animals, like living off the land, and like we live in groups and things like that as humans did. But I'm sure there was a lot of like animals trying to kill us, other tribes killing our whole family.
So is your question like where's that trauma?
What I'm thinking is like maybe our brains evolved to deal with trauma, right? Because our ancestors had to have been dealing with trauma. Like their lives weren't great. Like they were fending for themselves early, and they lived hard lives. Like just surviving in the wilderness is hard.
Right.
So you would imagine that they would, although maybe it's like if you were born in that way, that all the hardships of survival is not necessarily traumatic.
Yeah.
What is it?
So
I see what you're saying.
Well, we were created in our brains to survive. And so, but when that brain comes into modern day society, then it kind of goes wackadoo, right? Like, so I know, like, my ancestors were probably like sniffing the air. Like, I can smell and I can see, I have those weird senses.
Yeah.
And it drives my husband crazy. He's like, how did you smell that? Or you can't predict the future kind of thing. I'm like, yes, I can. Right. And so those kind of things I know my ancestors had because I was probably up at night, being all ADHD, making sure that
helped you survive.
Right. It helped me survive. Right. And so,
but then being cautious of danger.
Right.
Kept you alive.
Exactly.
So that, that trait evolved with humans, like to be, but the problem is in modern day society when we're safe all the time,
we're
still heightened. My wife's like this, like always looking for danger. Like,
dude, I'm like that.
Yeah.
It's called hypervigilance, right? And that's also part of how you grow up too. Like if you grew up with somebody that had a lot of kind of up and down emotions, you learn to predict that. You learn to, even if they're not a bad person, you learn to become hyper vigilant and like think about their emotions before yours, right? And so that's the thing. Our body
growing up with an alcoholic,
and that
parent
can
or
be
something,
trauma. Because you're neglecting yourself and then putting that, and that one's weird because, I mean, arguably you're doing something good for somebody else.
Right,
maybe.
but then you become, like for me, I became a people pleaser. I became where I wanted to make everybody okay, and then I wasn't being
And you were
authentic.
suffering,
Well,
yeah.
I wasn't being authentic, so I'd be like, oh yeah, I like doing that, and then I turned, I'm 40, and I'm like, I don't even know if I do like that, because I always wanted to make sure you were okay.
Sure.
I'm fine, and then I realized, like, that's not a good way, that's not intimacy, that's not a friendship, that's a servantship that a lot of women end up getting into, because we were told in the 90s, like literally in magazines, it was like, oh, laugh at their jokes and, make sure to make him feel good, and I'm not.
I love that.
I know.
I wish we kept a little bit of that.
Back to the show.
Let's go back to it. But like, so
Servitude.
but then you
Round one.
and then you realize, like, but the long and short is like, my anxiety is the same as it was as my ancestors, but now I don't necessarily get that energy down. I'm not running for a mammoth. I'm literally sitting there on my phone wanting to die. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't connect your brain and your thoughts in like that primal way, then you will have those issues to where you can't control it, because you have to do those same things your ancestors did, but in modern day society.
Gotcha.
I love it.
So, Amy, one last question,
Got it.
and we talk about this a lot, and the I guess the stereotype is that, like, I say crazy, it's a wrong word, but like a woman that may have some more issues than a woman that doesn't is better in bed, right? So, what I'm saying?
Oh, the wild ones. Yeah, they'll grind it right off. I didn't know what he was talking about.
I know, where are we going with this?
I'm trying to be, polite.
You don't have to be
Mr.
polite, it's
Rogers
fine.
over here.
Okay, yeah, the crazier you are, the better you are in
As
bed.
a therapist, I've heard it all. Well, it's because they're
What is that?
They're in touch with their emotions, right? So when you see someone quote unquote crazy, they're literally, you see them going through their emotions. You see them being mad. You see them being angry. You see them telling you how it is. And then when you go back to like Puritan society of like, don't talk about it, be a lady, be prim. Like when you look at like, the freaking royals, they don't look like they're going to be good in bed, because they're told to be good, be right. Don't talk about your emotions. Don't be a human. When you're a full human, you learn how to be in touch with your body. You learn how to be in touch
Look
with
at me.
right?
I can eat it good.
When you're connected with yourself, when she's connected with herself, she can connect with you much better.
So you got to start being crazier in the bedroom.
Well, yeah.
So go in there, look your wife in the face, and go.
No, well, I don't got it inside. Like,
What do you mean you don't got it inside?
It's not even me. I'm
Just fake it. Just pretend
for
like it.
women,
That's not
though.
real, though.
Just
They
go
can
there.
tell. It's gotta be real. It's gotta
but-
be real.
Well, then how can he get there then?
He's got to be in touch with his emotions and his
That'll
own.
never happen.
In his own. You got to be positive.
Yeah, but I'm talking-
No, I am, but I'm positive he'll never be
Amy,
in touch
but I'm
with his
talking about like
emotions.
mentally ill Casey Anthony crazy. Where, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where, like that's what they
because
like,
Casey Anthony is gonna always do for herself. She's gonna have a good time, and so if she's gonna have a good time, she's gonna have a good time in bed with you.
God, so it's that leans into
I didn't
Understanding
know
what
this
she
segment
wants.
was going to make me horny.
well, we're going
Oh
everywhere.
my God.
I'm not
Now we're
going-
getting to Casey Anthony fan
And
section.
I'm not a fan of Casey Anthony.
No one is.
Did you see her TikTok video?
Yeah, what'd you think of her
Weird.
TikTok video?
I try to stay. I try
Did
to
you see
keep-
it? She
No.
started the video by saying, "It's so hot in here, I might die in this car."
So since I've seen the worst of society, my media, I try to keep it cats and dogs and happy, because I've seen the real thing, and so it's hard for me to watch like horror movies, scary movies, because I'm like, oh, that's real.
Have you
know?
ever heard Tom referred to as Castleberry Jussie Smollett?
Why is it? Amy, do you have any shows coming up that we can plug?
Yes, please. Well, you guys met Rue, right? Rue Nafasad?
Yeah, I love Rue.
She's my comedy buddy. We have a
She's
show called Pillow Fort where we do a podcast, which is so much fun. And then her and I book a lot of shows. I book shows at Little Indies on Saturdays,
Nice.
about 4:30. We have one called Slide Deck where we're going to do presentations for comedians. That's really fun. And then I got Milk District tonight. Well, I don't know when this airs, so sorry, maybe not.
Friday.
And then I don't have any psychs. I'm gonna work on some more psychs. The psychs take a lot of mental and emotional energy.
Yeah.
So that's my next thing, is to book some more psychs. I did them here. I did it at the Fringe Festival and all that good stuff. And I've been touring with it. And so yeah, just my Saturday at Little Indies has been really fun.
Well,
Awesome.
man, anytime you want to come in and plug anything,
Thank
and I'm
you.
sorry I'm not moving around well, but we would love to have you back.
I'd love
This
to
was
be
so
back.
fun.
Yeah, I'd love to just talk
Yeah, your
psychology with
rapport
you.
is awesome, and we always get these type of questions.
Got it.
And next time you come back, you could psychoanalyze both of us.
Yeah, I brought
I'll
my
tell
book.
you anything.
Yeah, I brought my book. Everybody
yeah.
usually does do that,
Yeah.
and like,
Have
yeah,
you ever
anytime
got a
when-
nothing, like a dud? Because that's what I'm going to give you.
Yeah. You might get a dub.
You might get
You're
a
like,
dub.
"I
And then
have
with
nothing."
me, you're going to be like, stop trying to be the craziest. And I'm like, I want to be the
You're
craziest.
going to dud and the craziest one you've ever talked to.
I'll
Yeah.
do it. I'll bring assessments.
I'll be gunning for it, you know? I'll be like, was that crazy enough for you?
And it's good to know that about yourself. And it's not about finding what's wrong with you. It's truly understanding yourself so you can be a full person.
There
Awesome.
you go. I'll never be a full person.
That's a disorder. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll never understand anything.
All right.
Amy
guys.
LaCour, thanks so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
And we will see you on Monday.